Loading right now?
Yep,
Yeah,
yep, yep.
I can see it.
All right, cool. So, like, just so I have it all written out and so we don't forget anything, what do you want to get out of this?
Um, I want to get better at ganking, better at positioning.
Okay, when you get better at positioning, what do you mean? Just in general?
Yeah, like in late game team fights and
Okay.
position and like positions I should take when I'm ganking.
Okay.
And most efficient ways to farm.
All right, cool. Now you realize that today the entire game is pretty much a brand new game, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I actually have to do some math on the most efficient way to farm because there are actually new things now. Like for example, did you read the patch notes? Let me start with that.
No, but I've already played a couple, like 2 games of the new
You
patch.
should read the patch notes. It's
All right.
long. It's like a freaking novel, but there's some hidden stuff there. Let me actually show you. What is this
I
patch 6.9?
noticed. I noticed that they did remove the Devourer and Sated Devourer.
Yep.
And of course, there's the whole dragon update.
Yeah, the dragon update is huge too, but
Yeah.
there's some other little things that dramatically affect like how you might want to farm. For example, if you look way below the dragon changes, like notice how freaking long this thing is. I was reading it on my
That's
lunch break
huge.
today and got kind of a headache going through everything. I've been scrolling for like 10 seconds. But so now they have this Blood Razor item, which you probably want to be building on Shyvana just
Mm-hmm.
because of what it does and how that synergizes with your Q. I'm looking at this guy right here. I don't know if you can read
Yeah, it's
that.
passive.
Yep, but basic attacks deal 3% of the target's maximum health as bonus physical damage, maximum 75 damage for his minions and monsters. But like, why would that be good on Shyvana, the champion you play a lot?
Her Q does a lot of damage, and the extra stacks of percent damage on top of it
Exactly.
just does
So
more damage.
so that's one thing, gives you attack speed. So Devour is
Mm-hmm.
gone, but at the same time, it's not gone. They just gave
It's
you something
just,
a little bit better.
yeah.
But the item change that I really want to show you is really boring to most people, but it's all the way down here.
Whoa,
I
it's
thought it
really
was.
hidden.
I thought it was. I'm looking for the jungle items specifically. The little baby ones. Where is it? It's in the items, right? Did I completely miss it?
Maybe.
There's a lot to scroll. Here it is, jungle experience. Okay, so it wasn't an item. But if you look here, and let me scroll in so you can actually see things. Hunter's Machete and Hunter's Talisman grant not 15, but 50 bonus experience on large monster kill.
All right.
So that's a big difference. Like if you're
That's
farming for
huge.
levels, you know, you just get extra stuff. You don't have to farm as many
Yeah.
camps. If you're farming for, gold, it's probably the same. But for
Mm-hmm.
like
But
certain champions that need level 6 to be really, really strong, this is a huge buff. So like I'm all excited because most of the champions I play are there. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is there's like a freaking epic novel of shit to go through because it's all different. So like take a
all
minute to
right.
do that before you jump into ranked because it is chaos.
Yeah, I might have to do that.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, we can definitely help you with this stuff. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Um, Let me just go back and read that message I sent. 'Cause it was all pretty much in that message.
All right, cool. Here, let me open it up then. Do. Yep, yep. And I had like messages from you too. But this freaking site is weird and sometimes they just disappear.
Yeah, it's a confusing site.
Yeah, like I like it and I hate it at the same time because like I have messages from you, but they're not tied to this
Mhm.
specific lesson request, so I can't see them, which is just stupid.
Oh, counter jungling.
Counter jungling, yeah, that'll be a
Yeah.
good one actually, because now that the experience is there, we can go through that.
Hmm.
All right, cool. Well, that's kind of a good list to start with. What rank are you? You're like bronze 1?
Bronze one. Yep.
Okay, cool. Well, a lot of this stuff, like the positioning, will be really hard to talk about unless I can actually see one of your games.
Yeah.
So maybe like if we do another session, like if you like how I coach and you want to do another one, you can record one of your games and we can watch together. Then I can be like, hey, why were you positioning there and not here? And then we
Okay.
can draw with paint or whatever. But we can still talk about it. I'm just saying you'll get more out of it with an actual video. But
All right.
the way I start most of my lessons are actually figuring out what you want to do and then figure out where you are. And then from there, that helps me figure out, okay, do I need to start at the fundamentals or can I go to the super duper nitty gritty stuff? So first and
Okay.
foremost, why do you want to get better? Are you just trying to climb? Are you trying to actually get better
Yeah,
at the game?
I'm just trying to climb up the ladders, get better, have more close and intense matches.
Well, there is a difference between climbing and getting better. Like, if you get better, you will climb, but if you
Hmm.
just want to climb, I can tell you to spam specific types of champions and play specific ways, and you'll climb a lot faster, but you won't necessarily get better at the game as a whole.
All right, then I want to get better.
Cool. Okay. Well, that's fine then. All right. So let me start out asking my favorite question in the world. It's my favorite question because it tells me how good you know the game. And it's fine if you don't know things because about 80% of the people I coach get these questions wrong. They're
All
really
right.
stupid, they're really simple, but it's actually super helpful. And by the way, I talk way too much, so if I'm talking too much, just interrupt me. I won't be
No,
offended.
it's fine.
Okay, how do you win the game? There are 2 correct answers.
Destroy the enemy nexus.
Yep.
Or they can surrender.
Yep. So now the surrendering one, you can force people to do that by playing a very specific way and just demoralizing them, spamming your mastery crest, all kinds of bad manners. We're not going to focus on that one because you want to get better. We're going to
Yeah.
focus on the killing the enemy nexus one. So how do you kill the enemy
All right.
nexus? What do you have to do right before that?
Destroy all the outer towers and buildings in at least one of the lanes before you can destroy the nexus turrets.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. So how do you do that? Sounds like you've watched the lesson before.
uh, I don't really know how to explain how to do that.
Well, I mean,
You gotta,
like, do you just go and hit the tower? Like, what if someone's stopping you? Like, doesn't the tower hit you?
oh yeah, you gotta be behind your minions so you don't get hit by the tower.
Why? Because
And the tower targets the minions first, unless you hit a champion in the turret's radius,
yep.
and then it'll target you.
Okay. So what else is important about having the minions nearby? I know we're screen sharing, so I'm gonna show you. But why else do you want the minions by the tower?
Uh,
And it's fine if you don't know.
to deny CS for the other team.
Yeah, that's part of it, but where is it? I'm trying to find it here. I think this is it. Okay, so what happens if there aren't minions around? Are towers easier or harder to take? Just if you're like right-clicking them, do you do more or less damage?
You'll do less.
Yep. Why?
I don't know.
So right now, if you were just to go walk up to a tower and right-click it, pre 7 minutes, well, actually, as of last patch, I still got to read through all this stuff to see if it changed. But pre 7 minutes, towers just have way too much extra armor and magic resist. It's like an extra 200 or something ridiculous, I think is what it was. Yeah, it used to have like this. It used to be something else. Then that was so LCS teams couldn't just take towers in the first minute of the game and have really
Yeah.
boring like matches. Another thing is if there aren't minions nearby, towers have extra armor and magic resist. So
Really?
it's harder to like actually do damage to them because they literally are stronger and have more armor. If you have one minion, like one little baby tiny caster minion just like near it, they lose a lot. And it looks like now towers have damage reduction, like 66.66% damage reduction if there isn't a minion around, which
All
is
right.
just a lot. Like that means 2/3 of your
That's-
damage isn't going through. So you want those minions around.
Oh yeah.
So that's kind of the main reason. And again, I gotta like these patch notes aren't very clear, so I'm not really sure what this means. It just says like physical and magic damage is now reduced by 66.66%, but it doesn't tell you when or why, so that's confusing. But anyway,
Mm,
if you have minions next to them, they don't have that damage reduction because the minions are around and Riot wants you to take the game because you've been playing the game correctly.
all right.
So how do you get your minions close to the tower and right-click it? What do you have to do there?
Stop the other people from killing your minions.
Yep. So how do you do that?
Well, you can either kill your minions or their minions faster, so that your minions keep pushing, or kill them themselves.
Yep, kill them or force them out of lane, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how do you do that?
You can poke them or keep harassing them, or call in for a gank or something.
Okay, yeah, what if they try to do that to you?
Then you leave.
I guess so. Or you can
I-
just outplay them. Either or.
Yeah,
Depends how you want to do it. But okay, you see what I'm getting at, right?
yeah.
So you got to do a whole bunch of stuff so you can push your minions up to the tower so you can right click it. Then you can go right click all the other towers, take an inhibitor. That lets you take the 2 towers by the Nexus, and you right click the Nexus and you win the game. Hooray. But
Hmm.
that's the gist of it, right? So a lot of what we're going to talk about is focused on, okay, well, how do you do the first thing, which will set up the next thing, which will set up the next thing, which will set up the next thing, which will set up the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I want to focus. So let's go through your list. Um, let's talk about getting better at ganking. Like that'll be pretty good to start with. Uh, what jungler do you want to talk about? Because different junglers have different styles. Like I know you play. I'm looking at your champs. A lot of Shyvana. Then I see a bunch of
Yeah.
random champs, right? So who in the
Mm.
jungle do we want to focus on? Give me like 3 or 4 champs.
Shyvana. I
Okay.
play Zac, and I used to play Shaco.
Okay. Shaco is a really tough one for
Yeah.
like when you're new at the game, and I'm assuming you are just because you're bronze 1. Like when you're still learning stuff, like
Hmm.
Shaco's insane. So that's impressive if you're good with him.
I'm alright with them.
All right, what else? You give me one more just for fun. You got kind of a tanky bruiser. You got like a weird AP tank that can engage from far away. You have invisibility. Do you have like an AP one maybe?
Mm, I've wanted to pick up Fizz. I just recently bought him.
We can try Fizz. That's a tougher one to learn because
Yeah.
he's not as strong as the other junglers. But then again, this patch is crazy, so I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know how he works on the current patch.
Okay, but we can talk about this. So let's go through. Let's start with Shyvana, and I'm gonna use a thing called Rift Kit, which is pretty fun. I got people talking to me in my thing, but I'm gonna ignore them because I'm coaching.
Alright.
So this right here, it's riftkit.net. It's pretty cool because here's the map. The J is the
Alright.
jungler, T is the top, M is the mid lane, bottom lane is the AD carry and support, unless you have Mordekaiser or something. But whatever.
Alright.
So what I want to do is do kind of like a pretend scrimmage. So like I did this last time and it worked pretty well with the other guy I was coaching. But walk me through what is their team, what is your team, and let's start with you on Jungle Shyvana, just so we can work on ganking.
Alright.
Jungle Shyvana. I'm going to show you like what should kind of be going through your mindset. So who's top for you?
Top will be Echo.
Echo for you. Okay, cool. What about mid?
We'll have Azir.
Azir. Okay. What about bot? But what about your AD carry? Who's that?
AD carry. Tristana.
Okay. And supporting.
Alistair.
Cool. And I'm just assuming it's the normal meta, like these are all the people in the regular spot and whatever.
Alright.
But you never know. Okay, who you're up against?
Top they have Poppy.
Okay. That's gonna be annoying for you.
Yeah.
Do you know why?
Her ultimate and her 2-second stun.
No, neither of those actually.
Really?
I mean, yeah, those are annoying, but they're not that bad. There's one ability of hers that is really super duper annoying.
Oh, is it her shield?
I don't know if it's no, her shield's not that bad. I mean, Poppy is an annoying champion, yeah, but there's one thing that Poppy can do. It's one of her abilities that really makes your life miserable as Shyvana. It has to do with your ultimate. I'll give you a hint.
What is it?
Do you know what her W does?
No, I don't think so.
When she procs it, she gets a little shield around her, but it's not a shield. What it is it is a barrier that if anybody tries to dash into, it blocks them and does damage.
Ooh.
So if you try to ult on top of the enemy team and Poppy's like right in front, all she has to do is push one
Alright.
button and it just blocks your ultimate. And it's the
So that's not a
stupidest
good idea.
thing ever. Oh no. It like if you see a Poppy on the other team, you can still pick Shyvana, but you just have to be more careful. You can't just
Yeah.
jump in and be I'm a dragon because she's just gonna hit one button and block you.
Yeah. Alright.
So I'm saying it's annoying. I'm not saying it's unbeatable. So who's mid for them? Who's going against Azir?
Rise.
Rise. Okay. What about the AD carry?
Caitlyn.
Caitlyn. Okay. And what about the support?
Karma.
Karma. Okay, another broken champ. What about their jungler? We didn't say that.
Lee Sin.
Lee Sin. Okay. You're not making it easy for your team, but okay, we'll do that. We'll run to this, and I'm just gonna throw this off to the side so we can see. I got my music in the way, but whatever. That's fine.
Alright.
Actually, Here, I'll block the chat. I'm paying attention to you guys, I promise, but this coaching is not for you. Oh, wow, that's super annoying. Here, I'll do this. Then we can just see who's who. Okay.
All right.
So, with this setup, first of all, who... I actually did this at the last one. Are you familiar with the concept of win conditions?
Not really.
Okay,
Not when
that's
it
fine.
comes to League.
So, what a win condition is something specifically that you should focus on, because if you do it, your team will have an easier time winning the game. So, like, an example might be, like, well, in the last patch, getting to 5 dragons because you get that big buff. Now it might be getting the Elder Dragon or stacking 3 of the same element. Another win condition might be getting the early Rift Herald buff, which now lasts for 20 minutes and is ridiculously strong. Another one might be maybe they have a late game hyper carry like Kog'Maw. So making sure that he never gets strong ever. Like, that's a win condition, you know, because if you keep the only source of damage on the enemy team done, that means they don't have any damage. So things like that, right?
Yeah.
So looking at your team, what is your win condition? Like, what do you think you want to do here?
Protect Tristana.
Well, maybe, but I mean, normally you want to protect your carries. Sometimes.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, think about, like, what everybody does as, like, a champion. And I mean, if you don't know, that's fine, too. We can just throw out some ideas and see what makes sense. But, what about your champion? What about Shyvana? Is she, like, strong or weak early?
Early, she's pretty weak.
Pretty weak. Okay, is she strong or weak in the mid game, like 10, 20 minutes?
She gets stronger there.
Okay, then what about at the end of the game?
If you build her tanky, she could be really good.
Okay.
For late game.
And I kind of agree with you. Now, do you want to, like, be team fighting with her?
Yeah.
Probably.
She's got good initiation.
Okay, what about against this team? Like, think about Lee Sin. Like, can he do anything to, like, make it so you can't really get in the middle of them?
Yeah, his ultimate.
Yeah, his ultimate, right? Okay, what about Poppy? Can she do anything to make sure, like, you can't get in the middle of the enemy team? What?
Her ultimate and her W.
And her W and her Q is an annoying slow, and her E can push you away. So pretty much her entire kit is a nightmare for you. What about Ryze? Can he do anything to stop you from jumping in and be like, I'm a dragon, I'm going to eat you all?
He can snare you.
He can snare you. What about Caitlyn? Is she going to be easy or hard to get to?
Pretty hard to get to.
Pretty hard to get to. Why?
Because of all the CC the rest of them have.
Well, all the CC, but just her kit alone. What about her kit?
She can place her traps.
Yep.
And make it pretty much impossible to get to her.
So the traps, she has her parachute if you actually get close, and then she's got pretty long range, right?
Yeah.
So that sucks too. Now what about Karma?
I don't really know much about Karma's kit.
Cool. Well, here, whenever you don't know anything and you want to learn, like maybe there's a Karma on the enemy team and you're playing against it, you're like, shit, I don't know what Karma does. What I like to do is I type the name, I type wiki, and I type lol, because sometimes they have popular names. And look, the first thing that comes up, this right here. This is everything you ever want to know about Karma. So ignore this stuff up here, like the stats, like, because you're not going to be able to use anything in your game. But read her abilities. Like, if you have time. And normally there's someone on the enemy team with a toaster for a computer. They're making a grilled cheese in it. Their hamster died or whatever. So you'll have time to, like, read through and be like, oh, what does this do? Karma is confusing as shit. She has this passive where, you know, if she uses abilities, then, like, cooldowns go down, stuff like that. There are different abilities depending on if she uses her ultimate or not. But pretty much what she does is her Q just throws like a little laser beam at you. If she empowers it with her ultimate, it explodes a few seconds later. This one right here will tether someone. Like, if you try to run on Karma, she can tether you. She'll put a little laser beam from her belly button to your belly button. And after a few seconds, if, like, the tether isn't broken, like if you don't move far enough away, you get rooted.
All right.
And then she has a shield, which makes people run fast and, like, take less damage because it's a shield. And whenever she uses her ultimate, these abilities get stronger, right? So it's a little tricky. I think her Q also slows, but let's see. Here, if she has the mantra bonus, it slows enemies inside by 50%. If she doesn't, it's by 25%. So going back to Karma, she has one ability that slows, one ability that roots, one ability that speeds up everybody near her and gives them a shield, and then, like, a pretty low cooldown ultimate that makes all those stronger. So looking at the enemy team, is it going to be easy or hard for you to, like, jump in and team fight?
It's gonna be pretty hard.
It's going to be freaking impossible. That's what I'm trying to say. So
Yeah.
so as a win condition, are you trying to team fight, do you think? Like, are you trying to straight 5v5 and jump in as Shyvana?
No.
No, and I agree with you. And even with Alistar jumping in, even with Echo jumping in, all they're going to do is run away and kite you to death. And then when
Yeah.
somebody gets caught out, maybe Azir gets bored and jumps in, maybe Tristana gets bored and jumps in, they're just going to get murdered.
Yeah.
So knowing that you don't want a 5v5, what are the other options? How else can you win the game? And if you don't know, that's fine. I'm just asking because this tells me where you are. This
Yeah.
is better for you to learn if you like figure it out versus me telling you.
Well, we could split push
Split push. That is a fantastic idea. Why is that a fantastic idea?
because it splits their team up.
Yep. Are they
So we don't
stronger
have
as
to-
5 or are they fine dueling 1v1? Like, can you handle a Caitlyn 1v1?
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll eat her alive, right? What
Yeah.
about a Karma? Will she be able to do anything?
Not really. No.
Probably not. And Ryze, he can only snare you once, and then that's it. Maybe Poppy,
Unless he's like Faker.
unless he's like Faker, but
Yeah.
there's only one Faker, and he's not in bronze, hopefully. If he's smurfing down there, that just sucks.
Oh, I'd cry.
Same. Poppy might be able to mess with you, but still, like, this
Yeah.
becomes an easier fight if Poppy's gone, because if you look, they're all not really that tanky. Mostly Sens build straight damage because they're bad. Ryze, he'll probably take some time to stack up. He'll get tanky later, but like mid-game, like he'll be
Yeah.
okay. And even then, you got pretty good damage for taking him out because these guys have poke. If they try to run on you, Echo can peel, Alistar can peel. So honestly, it might be better if you pull the Poppy away. So I think split pushing is a really good thing. Well, why else is split pushing a good idea if you're playing Shyvana? It's a very simple answer I'm looking for.
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you have a good wave clear?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so here, let's put it in here. Good wave clear from W. What else can you do? Do you do a lot of damage or a little damage to towers? Like if they leave you alone with a tower, does it go down quickly or slowly?
I'll eat that tower alive.
Okay, fast at taking towers. And then if like the enemy team tries to jump on you, what else can you do? Are you pretty easy to catch or pretty slippery?
No. I can ult and fly away.
Alt plus W, good escapes. So I'm seeing that and I'm like, okay, that's really, really good for split pushing, right? We don't want a 5v5 because literally their team is a Shyvana's nightmare. So let's look at this. Now, what else is good on your team that makes split pushing a good idea? Like, look at their kits. Is there anything in particular that looks good?
Well, Tristana's E can destroy towers really fast.
Tristana's E is very good at pushing towers down. What else is it good at? Like, let's say the enemy team is grouped up as 5. You're probably not going to be pushing towers with her, but what is it good at?
They could deal damage out on all of them.
It can hit all of them, but I'm looking for something simpler. Like, let's say the enemy team is trying to take one of your towers. What can Tristana do with her E that's better than some of the other AD carries? It's fine if you don't know.
I don't.
Wave clear is pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and also she has her jump, so it's going to be hard to get caught. She has an ultimate to disengage. She has a whole bunch of things that means it'll be tricky to get caught. What about Echo? Does he have pretty good wave clear?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, his Q is really good at clearing minions, especially with like a bunch of range from Tristana and Azir. What about split pushing? Like, let's say it's a top Echo, right? So he's probably going tanky. He'll probably take teleport. I don't know what goes on in bronze, though. Maybe he's taking some goofy shit. But let's say he takes teleport. Is he pretty good at taking towers?
Yeah.
Does he have pretty good wave clear?
Is
he one of the most slippery champions in the game?
Oh, yeah, he is.
Yeah, so already I'm seeing like a 1-3-1 setup. Now, what can Azir do that will help with that? Like, let's say the enemy team is clumped up as 5 and they're trying to take one of your towers.
His ultimate.
His ultimate is really, really good for disengage. What else can he do that's really, really good?
His little soldiers can poke them.
His little soldiers can poke?
He can do a lot of damage with those.
A lot of damage. Yep. So he has good wave clear. He can poke the enemy team away from stuff. There's one thing in particular I'm looking at that makes him super safe and makes split pushing a super good idea.
Is it that he can teleport to his or warp to his soldiers?
Well, the jump is nice. It makes him slippery, but there's something really obvious, and it's his passive. I'll give you a hint. It's Do you know what that is?
Oh yeah, he can resurrect a dead turret.
He can resurrect a dead turret. So let's say your Tristana takes, the tower right here, and they're trying to siege here. He just put a tower up right here, and then the enemy has to go through his ultimate. Echo slows his freaking soldiers. There's a tower hitting them. Tristana can ult people away, and then you have an Alistar that's gonna like headbutt pulverize people. I mean, it's a lot for the enemy team to get through. And sure, they have that Lee Sin that can jump in, but like he can only do so much, man. So looking at this, I'm thinking, okay, we're not going to win 5v5s unless you just crush them, absolutely crush them. So if you do that bullshit ARAM stuff that every single like bronze team does, where they go 5v5 in the middle and then the game lasts for 40 minutes, like you guys aren't going to win just because of the way kits work, right?
Nope.
Oh man, yeah, bro, I love it. Good thing Azir doesn't have a Facebook. He would poke everyone. Oh god, sorry, my stream is talking. But because of that, I'm thinking split pushing is really, really good for your team. Like you and Echo are really good at it. Tristana takes towers really, really fast. So even if you went top, and Tristana and the rest of the team went bot, like you can still put a lot of pressure on the map, and that'll work because you don't want to do a straight 5v5 because they'll just be better than you, assuming that both teams are equal skill wise. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So another thing that we want to focus on. Let's say we're going to just be like, okay, I'm going to split push to win because I picked Shyvana and the enemy team countered me with every last one of their champions. So how do you set up for a split push? What do you need to do to get strong enough to push towers by yourself? And there's a lot of answers. It's not just like one thing.
Good attack damage or attack speed.
Yeah, okay. So attack speed, attack damage. Think like the first 10-15 minutes of the game. Is there anything you would want to do to set up for split pushing later in the game?
I don't know.
Objective wise, is there anything on the map that might help you out with split pushing?
Oh, the Rift Herald?
Rift Herald is a really good one. Do you know what it does now?
It gives you better dueling power if you're alone.
Yeah, and I don't even know what it does now because it is a new patch today, and I have not played a single game on it yet. So let's look at it. Here's patch 6.9, jungle bosses. Rift Herald. So let's see what it does. So it's stronger, it's harder to take, but what it gives you, if you check this out, while no allied champions are near you, you gain 5% damage reduction against champions and continually build charges of corruption. So when no allied champions are near you, what does that sound like?
Really good split pushing.
Really good split pushing for soloing, for dueling. And then you get this charge of corruption thing. So at 100 charges, your next basic attack just charges all, dealing pretty much a ginormous amount of damage for no reason. So early game, what do you think you want to do to set up split pushing?
I'll probably give that to your top laner.
No, I would take that for you, man.
Or you could take it yourself.
Yeah, whoever's going to split push. Like, let's say Echo is going to split push. If he's the one that's going to split, like maybe you're duo with him, give it to him, sure. But I'm assuming most of the time you're going to be playing solo queue solo, right?
Yeah.
And if you're playing Shyvana and you're planning on split pushing, take the really strong split pushing buff, be greedy. It's yours.
All right.
The jungler gets priority on that. So I would definitely take that. Okay?
All right.
So prioritize Rift Herald. You're right to get the attack speed and attack damage, so we'll want some of that in your build, but because your Q is an auto attack reset, it's not necessarily that important. But you're probably going to want to get that, whatever the new Devourer jungle item is. I forget exactly what it's called, but you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
The Devourer's Gone Blood Razor, that one. Because that gives you a bunch of attack speed, and it's just really, really good at taking things like dragons and barons. Speaking of which, like, do you care about the dragon at all? What about them?
Yeah, I know about it. Dragon would be really good for the pushing.
Will it?
Yeah.
Because the answer is actually sometimes it will be good now, because not all of them are good for pushing.
Well, if you get the Earth Dragon.
Earth Dragon, nice.
Take that.
Okay, that's what I'm asking about. Because here, like the Earth Dragon, where's this guy showing things? Click the dragon to learn about the buff. Okay, I did that. What does it do? Oh, there it is. Okay, so the Mountain Dragon, I guess, is what it's called. This guy, if you look, 10, 20, 30% bonus true damage to turrets. So like if one of those is spawning, like you definitely want to take that above anything else.
Oh yeah.
Okay, what about the Infernal Drink? Do you give a shit about that?
I mean, it helps killing enemy champions.
Yeah, it helps killing champions. Actually, I was worried it would say it gives that much damage against champions, but it just gives you extra attack damage in general. So yeah, you'd want
Yeah.
that one too. What about this Cloud Dragon? Would this one be important?
Not really.
I disagree.
Uh,
Why do you think this would be important?
well, if once you clear the wave, you can move up to the next wave faster, I guess.
Not quite what I'm
Or
looking
no,
at. I
I
mean, you're
guess
already
not.
pretty fast as Shyvana, right?
Yeah.
So what am I thinking? Why would this be important? And look at here. Let me move this around. Look at their team. Look at your team. That might be more helpful. If you're split pushing, what would be a bad thing that could happen that these guys would have an easy time doing?
5-manning you?
Yeah, like let's say the map is completely dark. You have no idea where people are. What do you assume?
That they're going to stop the push.
Yeah, they're probably going to stop the push.
Yeah.
So if they're not by your team, they might be collapsing on you as 5, right? So why
Yeah.
would this be really, really good in that situation?
Because you can just get out of there.
Because you can just GTFO, not get
Yeah.
caught. Exactly. Now, same kind of
Nope.
concept. Let's say that they see your top and like, oh, we can just engage 5v4. Would this be really good for your team?
Yeah, it would.
Yeah, it would, because Poppy can speed herself up, Karma can speed up your entire team, Lee Sin is one of the most mobile champions in the game, and maybe he gets lucky and lags at the right moment and lands a proper insect combo and like knocks somebody important back into their team, and then Ryze eats them. You know, so having this would be great. Also, what's another reason you would want this? And this one's
I don't know.
kind of tricky.
I don't know.
You would want this so the enemy team can't get it.
Oh yeah, you can deny it.
Yeah, because if they did
makes
get
sense.
it, would they have an easier or harder time hunting you down and hunting your team down?
They'd have an easier time.
Way easier, right? So this would be really important. What about this guy, this ocean dragon thing?
It could be useful if you're already not full health.
Like it's not bad, but for the sake of split pushing, like if you had to choose between this and Rift Herald, would you go for the dragon?
No, I'd choose Rift Herald.
Same. So I think that's all I'm really trying to get at. So for split pushing, these guys you want to prioritize probably, especially this freaking mountain dragon, because because look at that, that's amazing. And then you probably want to prioritize this one and this one just because it'll make split pushing easier, and you don't want the enemy team to have that. Because if they do try to force a 5v4 on you, it'll be a lot easier. If they do try to hunt you down and then take Baron afterwards, it'll be easier. So that's something I would be thinking about too. So Rift Herald Dragons, you want to put a lot of focus on that. You don't necessarily care about taking towers early, because you can probably get them like later in the game once you start split pushing, once you get strong, right? So what else? What else could we focus on? Anything else you can think about that would make split pushing easier?
No, I can't think of anything else.
Okay, you might want to get some boots, like tier 2 boots. You can't get tier 3 anymore, so tier 2 is the max. But something just to make you super duper fast, so if anybody tries to get you, they can't. What kind of boots would you get against this team? And remember, you're thinking about split pushing, not team fighting.
Probably boots of mobility.
Why mobility? You might not be wrong. I'm just asking.
Yeah, it gives you bonus movement speed out of combat.
Yeah, for sure. So what happens if you are pushing this tower? Like, let's say you're the yellow jungler here, and you're pushing down this one right here, and all of a sudden you see a teleport come in, and the jungler comes in from here. Like, will the boots of mobility help you?
No.
No, not really. At all. Because they're probably going to hit you once, right? And then you lose the speed. Would something else be a little bit better?
Probably.
Which ones? Here's some similar items.
Boots of Swiftness.
That's what I would pick. Why?
Uh, the slow resist and more movement speed.
Yeah, you get 60 movement speed and mobility.
Yeah.
It gives you a lot. 25 is just the same as Boots, but 115 is a lot. That's a lot.
That is.
So it might be really, really good, especially if you're controlling those Wind Dragons and getting extra. But Boots of Swiftness, it's still a lot. But another reason I'm thinking about it is, does Lee Sin have any slows?
Yes.
Yes. Does Poppy have any slows?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Does Caitlyn have any slows?
Yeah.
She's got one, her E, so maybe like she'll use it if she's like trying to get away from you or whatever. Does Karma have slows?
Yes.
Yep. Her Q, her little shield thing, slows you down. And Rise, if he builds like a Rylai's, he'll have a slow, but otherwise he just has that snare, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he could build a Rylai's. That's an item you see on Rise sometimes. Sometimes. Against this team with all this CC, he probably won't build it. He'll probably just get some damage.
Yeah.
But when 4/5 of the enemy team has slows, like you probably want this.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay, just to like run away faster. So that's something else to think about. And I don't know. So all of this kind of stuff, like split pushing, that's what you kind of want to think about early. And I know like this started with, hey, how do I gank better? But this is kind of like telling you, okay, what do you need to do to actually set up for winning? And maybe ganking isn't the thing you should be doing as Shyvana into this team. That's more what I'm getting at. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, so what should you be doing instead of ganking?
Probably focusing on trying to improve the split pushing when it comes to the later game.
Yeah, definitely. So how can you do that?
Securing the objectives first.
Yeah, sure. So how do you do that? Again, a common theme.
Beat them to it.
Beat them to it, sure. In all honesty, it might be better to talk about this counter jungling if we're gonna do it. The way I would beat them to the jungle objectives is be like, okay, what is the earliest I can solo a dragon? What is the earliest I can do a Rift Herald? Stuff like that. So you play a lot of Shyvana. Let's assume that the dragons are about the same. What is the earliest you can solo a dragon, and what items do you need?
6 and the enchanted tracker's knife.
Okay, the tracker's knife type thing. So you need your upgraded jungle item.
Yeah.
And you need level 6. Okay. You might be able to do it a little bit earlier too if you practice a little and have the right runes, or if you have like double buff or something. Just things to think about. But let's say that you're right and it's 6 and you need that item. Okay, that item costs how much gold?
Like 23.50, I think.
Yeah, here, let's see actually. I'm gonna go to items. I'm gonna assume you're talking about this Blood Razor one now.
Yeah, that one.
So this one is now 26.25 gold, so a little bit more expensive. I think that's about the same as it has been though. So what do you need to get 26.25 gold? Like how many camps is that? Do you even know?
Well, I know most of them give around 80-ish gold.
Yeah, figure each camp gives just round up to 100 gold, right?
Yeah, so that's
20. About 26, right? 20, 26. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 if you count the crabs. So if you're trying to get to 26, you're looking at about like 3 rotations through the jungle. So that's going to take a while to get rolling. That's fine. You can also gank and stuff too, but is Shyvana good or bad at ganking, in your opinion?
Pre-6, she's pretty bad at ganking.
I'd argue even after 6, she's pretty bad too, but maybe you're better with her than I am.
Yeah.
She's one of my most played champions, by the way. I think I...
Oh.
So you came to the right guy. But
Right.
But Shyvana, early game, she has a lot of trouble ganking. And I noticed, I think I noticed anyway, when I was looking at your LoL King, I was trying to find a Shyvana game, that you take Flash too, which is interesting. Shyvana is one of those champions that doesn't need Flash. Do you know why?
She has good escape as it is.
Yep, her W makes her go fast. What else is really good? Does she have anything that can jump over walls?
Yeah, her ultimate.
Her ultimate. So once she hits 6, she really doesn't need it, right?
Yeah, I've done that to steal a few dragons.
Yeah, nice. So what can you take instead of Flash then? Specifically to help you gank a little.
Probably Ghost or Teleport.
Ghost could work. That makes you run faster, but you're already pretty fast, right?
Yeah.
If you took teleport, how would a gank work? Like, walk me through it. Let's say you're gonna gank,
Alright.
and here I'm gonna pull up that Rift Kit thing again. I don't know why I minimized it. Let's say you're gonna gank mid.
Alright.
You know, first of all, where's the enemy jungle? You're gonna be this yellow jungle.
Alright. Enemy jungles bot.
He's bot, so he's like by dragon, you mean, or somewhere down here?
No, putting pressure on our bot.
So like here?
Yeah.
And he's on a ward, you know it. Okay, cool. So where is their mid laner, the blue guy?
Attacking our turret.
Attacking your turret, right there. Okay, where's your mid laner?
Probably just recalled.
Just recalled? Oh, so way back there. Okay, so how are you going to gank with teleport?
Teleport to a ward in the bush by the river.
Oh, so we got here.
Kind of
like here?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you're going to teleport in there. I guess that could work. Who's their mid laner again? It's Ryze. So what'll happen when you go in and so you teleport in here? You're going to run on him, I'm assuming. What's he going to do?
He's gonna snare me and probably disintegrate me.
I don't know about disintegrating, but maybe. I don't know. Let's try something different. Let's say your mid laner didn't recall. Let's say your mid laner is right here.
Alright.
And remember, your mid laner, if I remember, is Azir, which is actually pretty good for this. And let's say this is pre-6. It's early game, right? So you teleport in here. He's here. How's this going to work? Walk me through it. What's Azir going to do? Is he going to do anything to set you up?
I could use... Or no, it's pre-6.
Yeah, pre-6. So he can't use his ultimate to box him in, because like a good Azir player will just do that naturally. Are you thinking he would like jump to a soldier and then like, haha, Shurima, drop him into tower range?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably. So post 6, you know, yeah, that's pretty much a free kill for you guys.
He can place his soldiers.
Yep.
And then when I come out of the bush, he shoots his soldiers at Ryze once Ryze starts going back.
Yeah, sure. Does he have any CC? Azir?
No.
He does, actually.
He does?
Yeah. Do you know what?
No.
Here, let me show you. To the wiki. And actually, they might have changed this. I wonder if it's still a knock-up. It used to be a knock-up. It might be a slow now. So one thing to notice is this. Can you read that okay?
Yep.
If not, I can read it to you.
Enemies hit by multiple soldiers do not take additional damage, but are slowed by an additional 25% per soldier beyond the first.
So if 3 soldiers are hitting him, it's a 50% slow. That's one thing.
All right.
So now what happens? Where is it? This one here.
Azir dashes to one of his sand soldiers, dealing magic damage to enemies he passes through. If Azir hits an enemy champion, he stops and gains a shield.
Okay, this is the one. This used to knock people up, like when you dashed into somebody, but now it looks like he only has the slow now. But still, it's something, right? Like, does Ryze have any escapes?
Nope.
Nope, he has none, right? So he's going to snare one of you and then try to walk away. So if he jumps in and just starts smacking him with multiple soldiers, that's going to slow him. Maybe he like actually snares Azir, and then you just walk in and there's nothing he can do to peel himself, right?
Yeah.
So actually, that would be pretty good if that situation happens. But you'll need a little bit of planning. You'll need a ward there. You'll need your mid laner to go in first, because if you go in first, what's going to happen is he's just going to snare you, maybe walk away, and your mid laner will be like, "Oh, I didn't see you gank."
Yeah.
Then you'll be super sad. Okay, so teleport. Yeah, that could work. I could see it. Another thing that people use for teleports for, let's say we're down here, down in the bot lane. Here, I'm trying to space this out so it works better. This is a weird site. When I zoom in, it does it like, yeah, there we go. That's what I was trying to do.
All right.
Okay, so you can kind of see the bot lane, right?
Yeah.
So let's say your ward is like down here. God, let me zoom in where I want to. Okay, it's at the back of bot lane, right? And they're up here. They're going in. They're chasing your guys away because Lee Sin is like trying to do an insect play or whatever. Does it make sense to teleport here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say yeah. One thing that some people do, like Cowsep made this famous. Do you ever watch Cowsep stream? He's the weird cow guy that only plays Master Yi.
Nope.
He's a weird cow guy that only plays Master Yi on the Korean server. Speaks English, has braces, really ridiculous stream. But what he does with Master Yi because Devour, you have to just farm up, right?
Yeah.
He'll just be power farming his jungle, and then if he notices that the enemy jungler is ganking, and he can actually do something about it, like his teammates aren't just dead, he'll teleport in and counter gank that way. And if the enemy jungler doesn't gank, he just keeps farming because that's what he wants to do. So this is definitely something you could do, or if there are minions like down here, just teleport to a minion, and then suddenly halfway through they're engaged, like, oh shit, there's a giant dragon about to come eat us. So,
Right.
so that's something to think about. You could do that as well as just your lane gank kind of thing. So teleport could work. I could see the argument for that. I wasn't thinking about that at all though. I was thinking about something else. There's a more obvious summoner that'll help you gank. Can you think of what it is?
Oh, exhaust.
Exhaust. Yes.
Yeah.
Why exhaust?
It slows
It
an enemy
slows
champion.
an enemy champion. What else does it do? Wow, this is not what I wanted.
I don't know what else it does actually.
Yeah, well, let me tell you. Exhaust target enemy champion, okay, reducing their movement speed and attack speed by 30%, and their armor and magic resist by 10, and their damage dealt by 40% for 2.5 seconds.
Alright, so that could spell certain doom.
Yeah, that's pretty damn good. So let's say like a Lee Sin is trying to fight you. Is he going to do most of his damage at once or over time?
Pretty sure at once. He's got good burst.
He's got good burst, right? So what happens if you exhaust him at the beginning?
Then he's gonna lose.
Then he's gonna lose. Okay, so if he's counter jungling you or you're counter jungling him and want to fight him, this is really good. What about Ryze? Is he gonna do all his damage at once or over time?
At once.
At once. He's gonna pop his ultimate and just spells, because that's what Ryze does.
Yep.
So that's really good. Poppy, I don't know. Poppy's going to kill you slowly over time and just never die. Caitlyn, if you're close enough to exhaust her, she's probably just going to blow up. Karma, I don't think you'll ever catch Karma. No offense. Like, you're probably a very good Shyvana player, but I don't think I can catch a Karma.
Yeah.
But anyway, the exhaust would be really good. And also because, does Shyvana have any crowd control?
No.
None.
Well, she has, when she hits an enemy with her ult, it kind of pushes.
Yeah, but we're talking pre-6, right?
Yeah.
So her Q is an auto attack reset. Her W just makes her go fast and does AoE damage. Her E, if you can land it, makes her auto attacks do extra damage.
Yeah.
So do you see what I'm getting at with the exhaust? What it gives you?
Yep.
Okay. So I would start taking that, in all honesty. You can try your teleport if you want to. That actually seems like a decent idea, but I think you'll get more out of exhaust.
All right.
Another thing, what jungle item do you get? Like, what enchanted smite do you get? You have 3 options right now, right?
I get Chilling Smite.
Chilling smite, yeah. And why? Why is that a better one?
It steals movement speed.
Steals movement speed. So it slows them down, speeds you up, right?
Yep.
So very, very good. Now, if you're going to split push, is something maybe better?
Probably.
Well, I don't know. Like let's talk about it, actually. What about the other ones? What are the other jungle items that you could get, the other upgrades?
There's the Challenging Smite.
Yeah, why would that be good?
Well, it's kind of like a mini Ignite. Isn't it?
Yes and no. Here, let's look at it. What does it do? Let's put it that way.
If you hit an enemy with it, it'll mark them.
Yep. What does that do?
They take true damage over some time.
Only if you auto attack them, though. So more importantly, here's what I'm looking at. Well, it reveals them for 4 seconds. So if they walk into a bush or whatever, you can still see them. It reduces their damage against you by 20%, which is good.
That's pretty good, yeah.
And it makes them take extra damage from your basic attacks over 3 seconds. And it's true damage.
Alright.
So if you're going to fight it like a Poppy late game split pushing, would you rather have Chilling Smite or would you rather have this?
I'd rather have that.
I honestly don't know. I think it depends what you want to do. Like can you beat the Poppy one-on-one? I don't know.
Probably not. That would be a close one.
So then my next question is, could you beat the Poppy one-on-one if you took Challenging Smite?
It'd be closer for me.
It'd be closer. Yeah. You'd survive longer. You'd do more damage to her. It's true damage, so her armor and stuff wouldn't matter. So I don't know is the question. I think it kind of depends who they're sending at you. But if we're talking about yanking early, Chilling Smite is better.
Yeah.
What about the other jungle item? Would that be any good?
Doesn't it just give you warding?
Yeah, it gives you 2 wards. Would that be good?
It could be actually.
Why?
For split pushing.
Why?
You place a ward in a bush, so if they come in to stop the push, you know it before.
I agree. Like, yeah. So, like, I can see all 3 jungle items actually being really, really good here. So there's not like really a one that's better than the others. Like Chilling Smite if you want to gank early, Challenging Smite if they're sending someone that actually is going to fight you and try to stop you from taking the tower, and then maybe Tracker's Knife if you know you can't win a fight and just need to do hit and run guerrilla warfare style, if that makes sense. Or maybe Chilling Smite is good if you think they can catch you. Like maybe they have like 3 of those stupid wind dragons and you're never going to get away. But really, I don't know. Like it's kind of a toss up. It depends on how you want to play. So here, let me ask you, how do you want to play? If somebody is trying to stop you from taking a tower, what do you do?
I'll probably fight them.
Fight them. So that's telling me Challenging Smite might be better, the red smite. Chilling Smite could be good if you think they can get away after you fight them and almost kill them, but up to you. Realize that if you are taking exhaust, you have another thing slowing them down as well. So that's another reason why we're talking through this, because you have more options.
Yeah.
But the main thing, just from looking at your history, the fact that you're taking Flash is interesting to me, and that might be why your ganks are having a little trouble. If you take Chilling Smite and Exhaust, like a Chilling Smite, if you look, how long does it slow for? Oh, great, it doesn't show that thing. I'm just going to look it up again. This is what you do every time you don't know. You look it up. That's how you learn and get better. Chilling Smite, that's the one I want. Great, it's just a picture. That tells me nothing. Oh, here it is. 2 seconds.
2 seconds.
So you got 2 seconds there. So after 2 seconds of Chilling Smite, what else can you do?
W.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're Wing during all that. Hopefully you're auto-attacking them and using your Q as an auto-attack reset. Maybe you landed your E, so everything's doing more damage. But let's say 2 seconds go up, and now they speed back up, and they're about to get away. What can you do?
Not much.
Well, we just said instead of Flash, you're taking Exhaust.
Oh, yeah, unless you have Exhaust.
So kind of the combo I'm looking for is, let's say we're ganking this mid lane Ryze again. He's up here being like, being really ballsy, and you run in. Let's say you just run straight at him from here because he's up way too far.
Yeah.
So he's probably going to snare you and maybe start walking away. Chilling Smite, right? 1, 2. You're out of the snare now. Exhaust, right when that slow wears up, and then you're on top of him. And then you're murdering him. And hopefully Azir comes and right-clicks him once and steals the kill from you.
Yeah.
You know? But that's kind of how the combo would work. Because, you know, Shyvana, like, let's say he has no CC and he has no escapes. How are you going to kill him? Like, what's your ability combo?
W.
W to run up, then what?
E, then Q with auto attacks.
Yes, and with your Q, you probably want to auto attack first.
Yeah, to get the reset.
Yeah, because you'll just do more damage. So exactly. So if that's going on, you're going to run at him. If this is Ryze and he does have that freaking snare, he's going to snare you like right here as he's trying to get away. And then that's when you Chilling Smite. He's running away. Oh, turn W on. E, Q. Maybe you can E him while you're snared because you can still use abilities. And exhaust him and just finish him off.
All right.
But that'll make it a lot easier.
I can see that working out better.
Yeah, it'll help. Trust me. You'll have extra damage from the exhaust. You'll have extra chasing power too. Like he won't walk away with 100 health because you'll get a few extra auto attacks in.
Yeah.
So where would you want to gank ideally? Like let's say you're on this side. Like what's your gank path? Like you just run in here and just run straight at him through lane? No. Okay. No. What? Do you tower dive him? Come from behind?
No. Depends on how far up he is, but usually
let's say
through the river.
Okay, where? The river. Which river? Which side do you want to
go? I might scout it beforehand, like smite the raptors, see if he has a ward there.
Nice. That's what I was going for. I was going to ask you next, where are the wards? But okay, so let's say he has no wards, and on this side of the map, like you're standing right here, you're dancing around here, nothing's going off. You know you're safe. Which way are you going to go to gank?
From there, and kind of come at him diagonally.
Oh, so you mean like here and then come here?
Yeah.
I don't think you should. And let me tell you why. Let's say you come out here. He's going to see you right there. All he's going to do if he's good is probably back up here, back up here. Do you know where Lee Sin is? He's the jungler, remember?
Yeah. No.
No. So if he is running straight this way. What does that tell you? Who's probably like waiting in this bush?
Lee Sin.
Lee Sin, right? He's probably like right here, like, oh, come here. I
Yeah.
like kills. So what might be a slightly better route to go that gives him less warning? Still from this side.
Probably through the little crevice there.
Which one? Here?
I don't.
Here?
Yeah. The one right there by the tower.
Oh, so like around here?
Yeah.
I completely agree with you. And the reason being, if you look, it doesn't seem like much, but here to here is like 2 seconds of walking. And if you come here and then go, he's already cut off. By the time he gets here, you'll be on top of him. Before, if you go
Alright.
this way, you're going to be kind of running this way at him too. But if you think like geometry, you really need to be running like this way to cut him off.
Yeah.
And it's a longer distance. If you come here, he has less time to react because he can't see you from as far away. He's probably up, so if there aren't minions, he won't even see you at all.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the time he's like trying to run here, cool, you've already chilling smite, exhaust. Hopefully Azir is paying attention and actually doing things. And even if Lee Sin is over here, maybe he was like killing Scuttle Crab and not paying attention, picking his nose. That's fine because you already killed this guy
Yeah.
before he can react. If you go this way, it's shitty. It's not as good because he'll get early warning. He'll have you'll have more distance to travel. He'll have more time to react. So less good.
Yeah.
So whenever you can with Shyvana, just because she doesn't have a gap closer, she can just run really fast. Give them less time to react. Go the long way around and hook around to come kill.
All right.
What about the same thing? Let's say top lane. Let's say we're going to do a top. And let's say we know Lee Sin is bot. Like we have a ward, right here, and we see him just derping around, like hitting the Scuttle Crab because he's bad. And
Alright.
Dragon's down, so you don't have to worry about that. How are you going to gank top?
There's not many options there.
Well, where's the enemy top laner? If he's here, would you even bother ganking top?
No.
Well, I don't know. Let's say he's at 200 health. Would you bother ganking top?
Oh yeah. If he's low.
If he's low, yeah, right? I mean, it's
Mhm.
Poppy, so there will be a shield. They do have CC, so you got to be a little careful. But you're Shyvana. You can probably take 3 or 4 tower hits, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and your top lane is Echo, so if he has his ultimate up, if he has a ginormous shield, he can set you up. Maybe you can kill her before she reacts. You have a bunch of tools. So I'm saying, like, yeah. Now, let's say you wanted to tower dive. Echo's here. And you have a pink ward here, so you know this is safe. And yet you put a pink ward here just for fun, so we know that that's safe. So how are you going to gank her to tower dive?
Go in through that little grass patch by Gromp.
By Gromp. Okay, so down here, up here, and then you jump in there. Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense to me, right? When do you want to do it? Like, let's think minion timing. Like, do you want to wait till there's a bunch of minions, or do you just want to go in?
Wait till there's at least a few minions there.
Your minions or their minions?
Our minions.
Our minions. So let's say that their minions are pushing up. Your minion wave is like here, not quite in tower range. What's something you can do?
Kill the minions?
Kill the minions. Kill them coming. Because if Poppy comes to like fight you, what's going to happen?
She's gonna die.
You're going to die.
If-
Remember, we said Lee Sin is down here, right?
Yeah.
So what you should do is kill these minions. Why do you want to do that?
Because it stops those minions from stopping the push of our minions.
Yeah, so what is Echo doing while you're doing that?
Getting ready or killing minions that are there.
Yep.
And getting ready for the gank.
Exactly. Now, if your minion's already pushed up, just jump in and kill her. Because you can do
Oh,
that. You and Echo together can do it. But if there are minions coming up, you want to proxy the wave. This is called proxying. This
Okay.
used to be what Singed used to do. I don't know if you played back when Suicide Singed was a thing. Do you know what
No.
that is? What Singed used to do, if you don't mind the story time, let's say this is Singed, and it's
Alright.
the first few minutes of the game. He would start right here, and he would farm like 3 or 4 waves. And if you killed him, fine, whatever. As soon as he came back, he would teleport right back here and just keep doing it. And
Oh
then,
my god.
after a few minutes, he would go into your base and start farming 2 waves. And the way Riot had the game balanced, originally, if you just kept killing him and he didn't get any kills, he eventually became worth less than a minion gold-wise.
Holy.
And if he's farming 2 waves, it creates so much pressure, because if you're busy chasing him, all of the minions you would be farming are dying to tower. And he is getting golden experience from farming these, and eventually, he's not worth any gold to kill. So he would just keep doing this, and eventually he's farming 2 waves of minions, and then there's just minion pressure on 2 lanes of towers, and they're just taking everything, right?
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty freaking cool. But there's no counterplay to that. It's just super annoying to play against. And Riot nerfed it by adding base gates in, because before what he would do is he'd run in the base, and there weren't these base gates here, like, now you can walk through here.
Yeah.
Those didn't used to exist. So if you would go near him, what a good Singed would do, let's say Lee Sin is trying to chase this Singed. He would use his fling and just throw you over this wall. And then you had to walk all the way around to get him, and then he would just run around and do this, and play Ring Around the Rosie, and he's Singed, and there's nothing you can do about it. So it's the stupidest freaking thing in the universe. It was so much fun to play as, and so much pain to play against. But anyway, so that's where proxying comes from. A bunch of crazy LCS players invented it. My favorite guy to watch was Druid Droid. He was a famous Singed player from NA. But anyway, so go back behind the wave and proxy it. Just kill that. And then when the time is right, when your minions are up here, when Echo's up there, just go sandwich her and kill her.
All right.
All right, so let's say something different, just because you wanted to work on your ganking. Let's say you have a ward here, and she is up here. How are you going to gank her?
Through the river and kind of come behind her.
Yeah, so now you have an Echo as your top laner. This is a Poppy. If you just like walk up, what's going to happen? Like, let's say you walk from here, Echo's running at her, so she starts backing up. What path do you want to take, and why?
To the left side?
I mean, like, do you want to just run this way and cut her off?
No.
Why?
Because she can push you into the tower.
Well, she can push you into the tower, but
or stun you.
She can stun you against the wall, right? So really, what should you do?
Probably come a little bit behind her.
Yeah, kind of like this.
And then Echo can slow her.
Echo can slow her with Q. He can jump on her. He can throw his W down here. What else can you do, too? Like, let's say he misses his Q because he's bad.
Chilling Smite or Exhaust.
Smite and Exhaust. Yeah, use both. But then do that. That'll give Echo time to catch up. He can throw all his stuff. She can maybe, like, try to, like, panic E away or whatever. But, yeah, that'll help. That's pretty good. All right, man. Like already, like if you just start thinking about, okay, what's the enemy team going to do? Like, how should I gank based on their kits and stuff? That'll help you. But with Shyvana, you're trying to give them the least amount of time to react, and depending on their kit, figure out how they're going to like counter the gank. Other things to look for when ganking, you win over one of them. Here, tell me, what are the two things you should think about before any gank ever?
Wards.
Wards. Am I walking over a ward? Because if you are, that means the enemy team knows, and you could be into a trap. What else?
And positioning.
Positioning, sure, but something. It has something to do with the enemy team. It's where someone is.
Other jungler.
Other jungler, yeah. Because let's say Lee Sin is up here. Oh, and I got my thing selected, just waiting in a bush, and you didn't know. Would this be a good gank or a bad gank?
Pretty bad gank.
It'd be horrible. You'd both probably die. But if you have vision of him down here, like his red buff is up and he's probably walking towards it. It gets a lot better, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's another thing. One more thing I want you to think about in addition to that, and it's the concept of, is it worth it to do the gank? Do you know what I mean when I say that?
Yeah.
Okay, explain to me. What do I mean?
Pretty much, if you're going to end up trading, would the trade be worth it?
Yeah, sure. So in this case, let's say 100% of the time you're going to kill the Poppy.
That's worth it.
How much gold do you get?
I don't know how much it is.
Well, how much is a kill worth?
A couple hundred.
Yeah, 300 gold, right?
Yeah.
Do you get anything else besides the kill gold?
Bounty gold.
Well, okay, let's say she had no bounty. But yeah, if she did have a bounty, you get some bounty gold. That goes to your team. What else, though? Does Echo get anything?
No, I don't think so.
He does, actually. Do you know how assists work in League?
Yeah.
Okay, how do they work?
I don't know exactly, but if you put in some damage, or even just some CC, I think, within, like, I don't know how long it is, I'd say 5 seconds of the kill, you'll get an assist.
It's a little longer, I think, but here, League assists. But pretty much the way it works is here. It's not 5 seconds, it's 10 seconds before their death.
Okay.
If you contribute an ability to their death, like if you're Trundle and you hit them with a slow pillar, if you're Echo and you hit them with 1Q or throw your W on and slow them, you get an assist. And when you get an assist, this happens. And this is important to know because this is good to know, like, is it worth or not? So when a champion is killed, the main killer gets a certain amount of gold. Let's say you killed Poppy, you would get 300 gold. While 50% of that amount is divided up among everyone who got an assist on it. So knowing that, like, how much gold would Echo get?
50% of that.
Yep. And what's that? What's half of 300?
150.
150. So net, your team is getting 300 gold plus 150. That's 450, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty tasty. That's not bad. Let's say you did the same thing bot lane, like you killed an AD carry and you killed it, and both your AD carry and your support helped. How much gold would they get?
They get 100 each.
Nope.
Or no, 75 each.
75 each, yeah. So if more people are involved, it's like less exciting. But as a team, you get more gold, so that's good to know. So what I'm talking about is it worth? Like, you go up there, you kill her, you get 450 gold for your team. Now, Echo, he really likes gold because he likes items. So I'd agree with you. I think that's pretty good to give him stuff. But let's say it was something like let's say it's a Malphite. Does Malphite need items and gold to be good?
No.
No. What does he need?
He needs levels.
He needs levels, yeah, and specifically, like when I think about Malphite, I think of like one letter in particular, and it is R because he needs to push one button to be effective.
Yeah.
Right. So like if you're a jungler and you only have time for like a handful of ganks, would you rather gank for your top lane Malphite, who really doesn't need ganks, or someone else? That's kind of what I'm getting at.
Probably someone else.
Probably someone else. Now you'll get 450 gold, like if you win mid too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like mid, let's say this guy is Malphite, and right now the bot lane just killed the enemy Lee Sin, and you're like dancing around here. So it's just a free gank. They're both pushed up. None of them have flash because they're bad and burned it, or because you're a god and ganked for him earlier. So who would you want to gank between Malphite and who is this Ryze, and why?
Ryze because it gives my mid laner more gold, and he can have additional time to farm more waves.
And he'll have more waves to farm. Yeah, because mid lane's shorter. That's a good point. I didn't think about that. Also, does Azir like gold? Or does he just need levels?
He needs gold a lot more than Malphite does.
He needs gold a lot more than Malphite. What about the enemy team makes mid more appealing? Is Poppy or Ryze going to be easier for you to gank as Shyvana?
Oh, probably Ryze.
Why?
Because Poppy is just like Shyvana's worst nightmare when it's ganking.
Yep, that's what we were talking about, right? She has all these tools to... Like, what if she has her ult up, and she sees you running at her? What's she going to do?
I'm going to go halfway across the rift.
You're going to go halfway across the rift. If you jump in as a dragon, what's she going to do?
W.
She's going to hit W and make you look stupid. If she gets close, and you get close to a wall, what's she going to do?
Stun me.
Stun you into a wall. If you get close, and she doesn't do any of that, what's she going to do?
Probably slow me.
Probably slow you with her Q. It's just a freaking nightmare. Now, what's Ryze going to do? If you run at him, what can he do?
At worst, he can snare me.
And is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much, because if he tries to fight you, what do you have that'll completely shut down his burst?
Exhaust.
Exhaust. So knowing these things, between these two lanes, what would you rather gank?
Mid.
Mid. Okay, so let's say this is Echo. That's what it originally was. Does Echo like gold?
Yes.
He does. But we already said that Azir likes gold, right?
Mm-hmm.
And let's say Echo is whining. He's like, my jungler doesn't exist. He's bad. He's not even looking at the map. He's just so bad. Give me ganks. What if he's doing that? Do you still go top and gank, or do you still go mid and gank? Which one is better?
Probably still mid.
Why?
Because Ryze is an easier gank than Poppy.
Exactly. So even if Echo is just whining at you, because he could use the gold, that is true.
Mm-hmm.
But is the Poppy gank a sure thing?
No.
No, not at all.
Unless she's like low health.
Unless she's low health. Unless she's like playing on a BlackBerry from Antarctica and lagging like crazy. Like, I don't know. Unless she's DC'd. I mean, if they are both equally skilled players, the Poppy and the Ryze, I would gank the Ryze every single time. What's another reason you'd want to gank the Ryze? Is he a strong or weak champion early?
he's pretty weak.
It's pretty damn weak, right? So if it's pre-6, even if it's like level 7-ish, like, just go kill him. He's going to have like a tier, maybe half a Rod of Ages. Actually, I don't know what the new Rise build is because the new AP items are insane, and there's like another novel I have to read about that. But he scales with mana, so he's probably going to get a tier and start stacking that. So again, I think Rise is the juicier choice here if you had to choose between the two. So with ganking, like we went over a lot. Do you want to review it real quick just to make sure you got it all?
Yeah, sure.
And we haven't touched any of these other junglers. We can still do that. But so for ganking, what are the 3 things we talked about looking at?
The roots, like when it's best to take.
Yeah, so the roots, distance, also wards, right? Like don't go over the wards. What else?
Who you're ganking.
Who you're ganking, and also who you're ganking for, right?
Yeah.
What can my laner do? And then what's the last thing?
The position of the enemy jungler.
Oh yeah, actually that's good too. Here, so let's talk about that with the routes. Let's throw that up there just for fun. Enemy, because it's kind of the same thing. Like, where's the enemy jungler? Where are the wards? What route should I take? You know, it's all positional stuff there. So positional stuff up here. Who you're ganking. Does it make sense to gank that Poppy who you're never going to catch and can probably just kill you? And then what's the last thing? I'll give you a hint. We just talked about it. 3 words.
Is it worth it?
Is it worth? You can add it. We'll call it 4 words. Is it worth it?
Right.
And the way you think about that, who on my team needs gold? And sometimes the answer, if you're playing Shyvana, right? So sometimes the answer is, I need the gold. Me. And in that case, it's selfish. Like, yeah, because you're selfish. It's what's the easier gank for you, you know, because I need it. But also, you're thinking here, and we can talk about this, probability of success. Like, it sounds like you have poker chips or something. Do you play poker by any chance?
Sometimes, occasionally.
Okay, so let's say, do you play Texas Hold'em too?
Yeah.
So let's say your head's up against somebody, and you look down and you have pocket aces, and they go all in before you can even bet. Well, what do you do?
I'd probably call them.
Probably call them. Okay, yeah. Why? Why do you call them?
Because pocket aces is like the best starting hand you can have.
Best possible starting hand. How often does it win?
I don't know the exact percentage.
I don't know either, but it's pretty big, right?
Yeah, it wins quite often.
So let's do this. Heads up. That's what I want. I don't think this is it. But pretty much, I think if I remember, it's like an 80% win rate, something like that. But I guess the point I'm trying to make, what I'm trying to get at, I still want to look that up because I'm curious. I thought it was like 81% or something. You don't get it every time. Like about 20% of the time, he's going to suck out on you and pull a straight, or his pocket kings will find another king. You know, there's just something stupid that'll happen on the board that'll make you not work. Or maybe he like rivers a flush. Just something dumb, right? So League is exactly like that. Every time you choose to make a play, make a gank, it's like choosing to go all in on a hand. And so you want to go all in whenever that probability is as high as possible, because it's not always going to work. So talking about this is it worth it thing, like let's think about this Poppy gank. Let's say you do the same gank, like you have an Echo top, you have a Poppy top, and you're Shyvana. Let's say you do the same gank at the same time of 10 different games. How often do you think it works? Just throw a random number out there.
3.
3. So let's say, just I'm going to keep track of it. 3 out of 10, Poppy gank. Now, same thing with Rise. You know, same exact situation, you know, no wards, you know, the jungler's dead or whatever, and he's pushed up, you have the same Azir. How often do you think you pull this gank off?
Probably 9 or 10 times out of 10.
9 or 10, let's say 10. So knowing that, which one is the better decision?
Rise.
Rise 100% of the time.
Oh, yeah.
100%. Because if you actually crunch the numbers and did the math, you're multiplying that 450 gold times 30%. Here, like, let's get really mathy. Like, you're probably not going to use this, but I just want to drive the point home once. So you're making about 135 gold on that play just because of that really shitty probability of success. Just by
All
making
right.
that decision, you're choosing to get 135 gold. Now, if that Rise gank, let's say 90% of the time that works, 405 gold.
That's a big
That's a
difference.
huge difference, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, way to think about it, like let's say we're doing that Poppy kill. That's 135 gold, right? How much is it to just farm chickens?
I think each little chicken gives you 9, and the big one gives you 60 something.
Yeah, something like that, right? So it's
Mm-hmm.
about, let's just say 100 gold.
All
About
right.
that. Maybe 90, but round up 100 gold. How much is it to farm Krugs?
80-ish, 90.
About the same, about 100 gold. Just
Yeah.
think of it as about 100 gold, right? If you
All
add
right.
those two together, is that more or less than the gold you'll probably get from ganking Poppy?
A lot more.
A lot more. So what's another thing you can do if the enemy jungler is dead? Do you want to go back and just farm your chickens? Let's say Rise recalled or Rise is at his tower.
Mm. Steal their farm.
Yeah, steal their farm, because what happens when you take this?
He has to wait for it to respawn.
Yeah, so what does that do?
It slows him down with his leveling.
So it gives you 100 gold, but it also takes away 100 gold from him, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what else do you do? Let's say you're farming the wolves down here. I'll zoom in so you can see. You're up against a Lee Sin, right? So is he an AoE jungler?
No.
No, he has to hit each one at a time, right? Or use his
Yeah.
Q or whatever. His E kind of does AoE, but for the most part, he's right-clicking
really
one thing.
small.
So when you take this camp, how do you actually take it? What do you do?
Kill the big thing,
Yep.
or the big one first.
Kill the big one first, then what?
And then one of the smaller ones.
Okay, why? And then what? What?
Or, I guess you could take both of them.
Okay, and then what?
And then you go to the Gromp.
Yeah, I would definitely go to the Gromp, but I would say you take the big one and leave the other two. And argue with me. I want to know why you think you should take the two.
So it's just more gold for you.
More gold for you. How much more gold? How much is each little wolf worth?
I guess only like 12.
12 gold, right? So what happens if, let's say, you leave one of them? Like why would you want to ever leave one?
I guess you could kill one faster than you can kill two.
Yep, he can kill one faster than he can kill two. But why leave one at all? Why not just take the extra 12 gold?
Because it won't respawn until he kills the rest of them.
Until he kills the rest of them. How fast does this camp respawn?
Like 2.5 minutes, I think.
A little bit less. It's like, I think, 1:40 right now. Here, let me make sure I'm telling you the right thing. But that's something that changes patch by patch. So like, I might be wrong too. So let's see. Greater Merkwolf. Let's look at this guy. Where's the respawn time? Here, 1:40. So I was right, 1:40. But it did used to be like 2 minutes, I think, back in the day. But so if you leave like one little guy, he has to clear it, and that's when the 1:40 starts ticking down.
Yeah.
If you take all of them, like, it might be back up by the time he gets back, and you didn't really set him behind.
Yeah, you didn't really do much.
Yes. So if you're trying to get good for, remember we were talking about split pushing and get strong and make it so other people can't stop you, does it make sense to leave one, or should you take one?
Probably leave one.
Probably leave one. Now, one or two?
Two.
Why?
Because he's not an AoE champion, so it'll take him just a couple extra seconds.
Exactly. So let's say he's a Mumu. Do you take one or two? Or do you leave one or two? I'm sorry, I misspoke.
You'll leave one.
Why?
Because a Mumu has AoE.
Yep, it'll take him the exact same time to clear both, right? So that's kind of the difference. But yeah, it makes sense. So if he's dead, and you have the choice between ganking Poppy, which we calculated is like 30% chance worth maybe 135 gold every time you make that decision, just because it's such a low probability. What should you do instead?
Take some of Lee Sin's jungle.
Yep, take some of his jungle, because you know this is very risky. Now let's say he's alive. You know, he could be here. Does it make sense to go in and fight him anyway? I'm just curious what you think. I'm not sure. Let's talk through it.
Depends.
Everyone is on the map exactly as you see. So bot lane's about even. Mid lane's right here, pushed into Rise's tower. There's a big minion wave here. Top lane, Poppy's kind of pushed up, but it's kind of frozen like right about here. Everybody's like full health.
Yeah.
And you don't know where Lee Sin is. He could be anywhere. but he could be here. So let's say he could be hiding.
No, I wouldn't take it.
Why?
Because he can get the jump on me, get a good initiation in the fight.
Well, I don't know. Here's what I want to go through. So can Ryze leave the tower right now?
No, he can't.
Why?
He's got to defend it.
He's got to defend it from Azir. There's a bajillion minions. And if we do the same thing, let's say there's like 20 minions here. Does it make sense for him to chase a kill that he might not get?
No.
No, not at all. Now it's bronze, so by all means, I'm sure he's going to come after you.
Yeah.
But if he does, even if he kills you, is it worth?
Nope.
Actually, how much is a minion worth?
Like 30 or 20 something.
League of Legends. I think some are worth 30, some are worth 20, but let's see. So I can get it right. I'm a diamond player and I don't know this shit. I have the stuff basically set up. So there's a weird thing where it's worth gold plus stuff per time. This is the melee minion, so it starts at 20 gold and every 90 seconds it goes up. The caster minions are worth a little bit less. Where is the other thing? Oh, it doesn't even show. But so let's say 20 gold per minion, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if there are 20 minions at this tower,
that's 400.
20 times 20, right? So 400 gold. And let's say it's like a few more minutes into the game, so it's probably about 500 gold worth if it's like 15 minutes in, because every 90 seconds that goes up a little.
Yeah.
So here actually times whatever. Let's just call it 500 gold to make the math easy. Does it make sense for Ryze to leave that to chase after you?
No, even if he does get the kill.
Yeah. And he's missing out on experience too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's another thing. So just things to think about. So Ryze probably not going to come for you, actually, if he's smart. Now, even if he's not smart and he's dumb and he leaves the tower and chases you, I still think it's worth. Because now it is worth, let's say, 450 gold if he kills you, but is he going to kill you 100% of the time?
Nope.
How much of the time do you think he's going to kill you?
4.
4? Okay,
40 or 40%.
So let's say 4 out of 10 times again. So that's 40%, right? So here. So if that happens, what happens to that 500 gold we just talked about? Let's see. It's now worth 200 gold. So making that decision to go in and invade and grow a huge sack of testicular fortitude, and if it could potentially pull Ryze off this, especially down in bronze where people are bad, is that a good decision or a bad decision from just a gold standpoint?
It's a good decision.
It's amazing, right? Because maybe he gets 200 gold by making that decision, but he loses 400 to 500 from the minions. So net, you're like doing plus 300 gold just by doing that. That's kind of how you want to think, as weird as that sounds. Is that kind of clicking, or is that super complicated?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, cool. So let's think about some other variables. So it makes sense for him not to leave his tower. What about top lane? Does it make sense for Poppy to come all the way down here?
No.
Well, maybe. I don't know. If Poppy comes, do you get out?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a lot lower probability, but she has a long way to travel, right?
Yeah, and hopefully if Echo's good, he'll ping missing.
Yep. And if he's really good, he'll follow, and if he's a god, you'll put a ward down here and he'll teleport to it. But it's bronze, so let's assume that it's all just going to be horrible.
All right.
So I'm just saying, like think like that. Like, I honestly don't know, but I think for the most part, if you come in here and kill this, let's say Poppy goes missing, Lee Sin is on his wolves, just go fight him for it, steal it, and then your escape route should be over here, towards your very scary Azir. Or if you have Dragon, maybe you go up here, Poppy comes down here, tries to kill you, you ult over this wall, and now she's lost a bunch of minions up here that Echo is hitting. You know what I mean? You have a whole bunch of options. So, and maybe you do something even stupider, like you come all the way down here, you make her chase you, you smite Gromp so it blocks for you, they're all chasing you, and then you ult over this wall. And then you've wasted their time for 30 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
There's a whole bunch of things you could do. So all that is just thinking, okay, what could happen?
All right.
Now if the waves are pushed like this, and you're looking to counter jungle, it's a completely different scenario, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense to, because even if you get the wolves, it's just scary probability-wise that you'll lose.
Mm-hmm.
So then maybe you just go farm your chickens, farm your Krugs, maybe kill one of these guys because they're pushed up. You know, what we talked about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of like what you were asking about earlier, if I go back to our notes, get better at ganking and positioning. We kind of talked about what route you should take, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And also think about this, is it worth it? Because depending on how the other people are set up, you know, it might make sense to go in, it might not. And you have to make this calculation really, really quickly because you're in the middle of the game and you have to be looking at the mini map as you're deciding to do this. So again, the things we're looking for is, hey, where's the mid laner? Can they come? Hey, where's the top laner? Can they come? Where's the jungler? You know, can I beat them 1v1?
All right.
Are these camps even up? Maybe you have a ward in there and you know they're down because you took them a minute ago. Then you know it makes no sense to go in there because there's nothing to take.
Mm-hmm.
Another question is the jungler bot and you know the really strong overpowered dragons that just launched today is that alive? Makes no sense to go in here. Maybe you walk over a pink ward and then they're like, oh, I get a free dragon, hooray! So a whole bunch of things to think about.
All right.
Okay, does that make sense? I threw a lot at you.
Yeah. No, it makes sense.
Okay, cool. So we can talk about positioning in team fights, but in this specific example against this team, it doesn't really make sense to team fight. But we can talk about that real quick if you want. Like, let's say...
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, let's say you guys were going to team fight. So how would everybody line up? I'm just throwing people randomly over here, just so we can get a good 5v5 ARAM going in the mid lane. And I'll throw the teams on the side so everybody can see. Let me just do that. Okay. So here are both teams. Your team is the L team. Where's everybody going to go? Start with you. Where are you going to be?
I'll be tankier, so I'll probably be front lines.
Okay, front line. What about Echo? Where's he going to be?
Front line.
Front line. Okay. Where's Alistar? Where's he going to be?
Front line as well.
Front line. Okay. Where's Azir? Where's he going to be?
At the back.
So like maybe here so he can poke with his soldiers, right? And Tristana. Yeah. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. I picked A for Alistar, but the support is Alistar. Tristana's back here probably doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What about their team? Where are they going to be? Let's start
Poppy.
with Poppy, right? Where's she going to be?
Front lines.
Front line. Okay. What about everybody else?
Lee Sin's probably going to be sort of front line side-ish.
Front line side-ish. Okay, we'll put him in the middle.
Yeah.
What about AD Carry? Where's she going to be?
At the back.
Okay, at the back. What about Ryze? Where he's going to be?
Kind of in between.
Kind of in the middle. Yeah. What about Karma? Where's she going to be?
Probably back with the carry.
Probably back. I could actually make an argument for her being up because she has those shields. So she's in the middle. She hits her empowered E. Everybody gets a shield. Everybody speeds up. But she's going to be poking, probably jumping back and forth. I agree with everything you said except for the Echo. Do you know why?
His Q.
Well, his Q, yeah, he can he can kite and stuff.
W, I think. The one that gives the area of effect.
Actually, yeah, that's the ability I was thinking about. Do you know why?
Doesn't it deal damage in an area?
It doesn't deal damage, but it does something else.
Slows?
It slows. What happens if everybody's standing in it when he jumps into it?
Oh, then they'll take magic damage.
Nope, no damage. Huh? None.
No damage?
Yep. Do you want? And remember, like if you're not sure what a champion does, like if you see an Echo on the enemy team or even your team from the sound of it, just look it up ahead of time.
Yeah.
And that's something that just as you play more, you'll get it. But here, this is a really complicated ability, but pretty much his W, when he takes it, it gives his abilities extra % health damage, whatever, ignore that. The important part is the active, this thing here. So after 3 seconds, it throws that little thing that makes that little circle. Anybody standing in it gets slowed, but if he jumps into it, look at this.
It stuns them for 2 seconds.
Is 2 seconds a lot of time or a little time?
That's a lot of time.
That's a lot of time. And another thing that's kind of cool, Zhonya's Hourglass just became really, 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 really cheap. So if Echo just jumps into the middle of the enemy team, and he has that W out there, and then he hits Zhonya's, the stun still goes off if they're standing all around him. So you can kind of like bait that way. So anyway, knowing that he has that ability, do you think Echo should just be frontlining here where everybody can see him use that ability, or do you think he should be somewhere else maybe?
I feel like if he was off to the side out of their vision,
Like
that'd
here?
probably be best. Yeah.
I completely agree with you. I would put him right here, and I would get a pink ward, like a friendly pink ward there, just so like he can see her.
Hmm.
You know, red sweeper it. Just make sure that there's no vision, right?
Yeah.
So you do this, and then why would you want him up here?
So it's easier for him to hit it, and he can get in and out of it quicker.
Yeah, just very very quick concept. How are you guys going to start a team fight? Remember we talked about what happens to you as Shyvana if you jump in, because Poppy's right in the
Yeah.
middle, right? So what's going to happen if you jump in?
I'm gonna get stuffed, and I'll look like a fool.
You're going to get stuff to look like a fool. So what happens if Echo jumps in?
I guess that'd be a really good initiation.
It'd be solid. He's pretty much your only initiation, because if Alistair tries to do his headbutt pulverize, Poppy can hit W. If you try to
Yeah.
do your thing, Poppy can hit W. Echo, if he does his E, he can still get stuffed, but if he's close enough to use his E, he's already in the circle of his
Mhm.
W, so it's fine. So in all honesty, here's where I would put it. So you're kind of in the front of Alistar. If Poppy jumps on you, you're just kind of peeling backwards and like doing damage, letting these guys poke. If Echo sees a good opportunity, he jumps in. You guys get a big stun. You blow somebody up. That's what
Mhm.
I'm seeing anyway. But positioning in team fights, yeah, you have pretty much the right idea. So who are you going to be focusing your damage on as Shyvana in this situation?
Not the tanks.
Why?
Probably. Well, that's what they're meant to do, take all the damage.
Yeah, for sure. But what about Shyvana's kit? Is she good or bad at killing tanks?
Mm, I guess she's pretty decent at it.
She's actually a tank killer.
Hmm.
Why is she a tank killer?
Her Q can do a lot of damage. Her
There's
and
one
her
ability specifically that works with your Q that I'm looking for.
the E.
The E. Why the E?
True damage. That's right.
Not true damage,
But
but
mm,
magic damage
awesome.
that is 2.5% of their maximum health. Now, what
Yeah,
does your Q do?
it hits them with both of your hands and resets your auto attack.
So what it does is, let's say you auto attack and then you Q. It's really like auto attack, auto attack, auto attack. It's like 3 quick
Yeah.
auto attacks. So let's say Poppy charges at you, you hit her with an E right in the face. What happens if you hit her with 3 auto attacks?
That's like almost 9% of her maximum health.
Yeah, it's a lot. Now, if she has some magic resist, it'll be a little bit less, but still.
Yeah.
Now, if let's say she has 4,000 health, what's 2.5% of 4,000? I don't know off the top of
Couple
my head, so I'm
hundred.
going to look, but let's see. It's like 100. It's not bad per auto attack, just an extra damage you're doing. Now, we just said it was going to be like 7.5, 300, right? So let's say instead you could be going up against an 80 carry. How much health do you think the Caitlyn has in the enemy team? Building just straight damage items.
Like 2,000.
2,000. So do you see what I'm kind of getting at? Just by looking at the numbers here. So if you hit her with 1 auto attack, it's 50. If you hit her with 2, or the 3, it's 150.
Yeah.
So the more health they have, the more effective you are at killing them, actually, as weird as that sounds. So what happens if you bought Blade of the Ruin King, too?
Wait, what's it do?
So check this out.
Does that stack on top of the 2%?
Yes, it does.
So that's 8% every hit.
Now this is current health. So when you do the first attack, it's going to be 6%. The second one will be like 5.9%. Or it'll still be 6%, but it'll be 6% of their remaining stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what's cool about this is that because of your auto attack and then your Q to reset the auto attack, it's really going to do 18% of their current health on top of that 7.5% of their current health.
That's a lot of health.
That's a lot, right? And if you look at this active too, like if you actually hit the button to like use the active, look at what it does.
Oh my god.
And it speeds you up and slows them down, and it heals you.
That's really good.
So So this item's really good. Also, here, let's go back to the patch notes. There's a brand new item that I would like that you're probably going to buy on Jungle Shyvana, right? Do you know which one it is? We talked about it a few times already.
Oh, is it the Blood Razor?
So what does this do?
Deals 3% of the maximum health as physical damage.
So let's say you got 2 damage items this game, knowing that there's a Poppy on the other team who's going to be tanky, knowing there's a Lee Sin on the other team who's going to be tanky, knowing that you're probably going to be like right-clicking dragons and Rift Heralds a bunch. Well, what 2 items would be pretty good to buy?
Probably the Blood Razor and Blade of the Ruined King.
Yeah, because 3% of the target's maximum health, plus 6% of the target's current health, plus 2.5% of the target's max health if you hit him with your E, plus that happening 3 times really, really quick, plus the Blade of the Ruined King active. So let me ask again, who should you be going on in this fight?
Probably Poppy.
Probably Poppy. Probably Poppy. You are a tank killer. Now, if you want, you can build different items. Like, let's say they don't have a really tanky champion. Let's say it's like an Echo Top for them. You know, and yeah, he can be tanky with his shields and he's super annoying and whatever, but let's say he builds straight AP. Maybe you just build straight flat damage like a Hydra or something because, you know, it makes more sense. You'll do more damage that way.
Mm-hmm.
But when there's a Poppy and somebody tanky that's going to stand in front of you, like, it makes sense to go that. You're getting the Blood Razor already anyway because Shyvana loves it.
Oh, yeah.
And then you're getting the Blade of the Ruined King on top of that because it gives you another form of CC from the active. You have your Smite for an active. You have your Exhaust for another, you know, you have 3 CC now when before you had nothing. It makes it a lot easier to gank. It makes it a lot easier to kill the unkillable.
That's pretty good.
Also, if you get those 2 items and, like, the Alistar tanks Baron for you, you can do Baron in about 15 seconds. Just you and him if he's tanking it. Now, if you're tanking it, it won't work because you do reduced damage to it. But if he's tanking it, you know, you're doing all your stuff, and it'll just melt. So
that's pretty cool.
Something to think about. Probably Blood Razor, Blade of the Ruined King, and then straight tank as an item.
All right.
Against tanks, there's other stuff that's probably better in different situations. Like this Ginsu's Rage Blade is amazing, but if you build like 3 of those items and they just like touch you, you're gonna blow up because you have no tankiness. So. But this one's pretty good too. Just because she likes
the attack. Oh, they changed it, didn't they?
Everything freaking changed. I gotta read it. Like, look at this explanation. It's 3 paragraphs.
Jesus.
Like, who has time to read that shit? I'm gonna have to later. But if you look at it, there's a whole bunch of stuff that happens. So it deals on hit damage. So what happens if you do those 3 quick hits? How much magic damage on hit are you doing?
45.
45, right? So stuff like this is really good on champions like Shyvana that can auto attack very quickly and proc extra auto attacks from their abilities. Same thing with Jax. Like he likes that because his ult makes every, you know, 3rd auto like do extra damage. So if he gets that, I think this one does every extra auto. Yeah, it has another phantom hit thing, the old Devourer thing. So this would be good on Shyvana just because she's hitting for all that stuff with her E, right? And then your Q resets, so it's like having 4 instead of 3. But I don't know. Like, this is probably what I would take if the entire enemy team is squishy. I would take Blade of the Ruined King if they
want. All right.
But again, got to do the math. Always got to do the math, and I'm not sure right now because this is the first day of the new patch. And this patch is, like, we already scrolled through it. Yeah. But definitely, if you have this item and something like that Blade of the Ruined King we looked at, I think you're better off just melting their front line.
All right.
Because if they don't have a tank, let's say you delete her, because she's like, oh, wait, why does Shyvana kill me? You know, she didn't look at your items or whatever.
Yeah.
So what happens in this team fight now?
It turns heavily in our favor.
Heavily in your favor. So even if you just chunk her down, I mean, the Tristana and the Azir are going to know what to do if they see a 30% health Poppy, right?
Yeah.
So your job, in all honesty, because I think Poppy, like, think of it this way. How are they going to engage? Remember, here is the enemy team. Sorry, I keep covering it up. How are they going to engage? Like, how would they jump on you? And I guess maybe not how, but who is going to engage?
Lee Sin, probably.
What's he going to do?
Or he can Q.
He's going to Q, so let's say he hits Alistar. What's he going to do now?
He'll jump in, followed up by the rest of his team.
Jump in, okay, then Alistar will knock him up, bop him back, probably. But if he doesn't, you know, he jumps in and he tries to, like, run on Tristana or whatever. You can do the same thing that you were going to do to Poppy. Just kill him. He'll be tanky too, right? He'll probably have 4,000 health.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't, just kill him anyway. So what else could happen? Like if Lee Sin jumps in, like maybe he lands a Q on Tristana and does that. He'll probably try to like kick her back into his team, right? That's the thing he can do. So that's one engage. What's another one? Who else can engage on their team? Can Ryze engage?
No, not really.
He can run up and snare somebody, but
Yeah.
not the best because you guys will just kill him probably. Can Caitlyn engage?
No.
Can Karma engage?
So.
Kind of. Karma kind of can, actually. She'll be sitting back and poking with her Q, but one of her abilities does something that can help with the engage. What is it?
Oh, is it her root?
Her root can, but I would use that more as a peeling tool, probably. There's one other one that's a little more obvious, and I know like you're not familiar with Karma because we talked about it earlier. I can remind you if you don't remember.
Her. No, I forget.
Her E. What does her E do?
Oh, is that her shield?
It's her shield, but what else does it do?
Speeds up the entire
up.
thing.
Yes. So who on their team likes the speed up?
Poppy.
Poppy likes the speed up. Does Lee Sin like it? Cool.
Not really.
Lee Sin, yeah, I would argue, yeah. It makes it easier to land his Q if he's right on top.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Ryze probably likes it too because he can follow up. Same thing with Kate. So probably the way they're going to engage, and here, like Poppy's the obvious one, right? Like Poppy's probably going to be the first one to jump in if Lee Sin doesn't do it. And how is she going to engage?
Probably with her headbutt.
Probably with her headbutt. What's another thing she could do? Remember, you and Alistar are standing in the front. These guys are kind of in the back. If the enemy team was smart, how would they start an engage?
She can fling us away.
She can fling you away with her hammer.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so what are the three things you're kind of looking for an engage from them?
Poppy, Lee Sin, and Karma.
Poppy, Lee Sin, and Karma. But what specifically from each one?
Poppy's ultimate.
Poppy's ultimate. What happens if she ults? What happens if she ults right now? What do you guys do? Do you go in?
No.
What do you do?
Everyone fall or Echo.
Echo, yeah, that's a good thought. What do you specifically do as a Shyvana? Because let's say Echo DCs right when she does that, and you can't trust him because it's solo queue. So as Shyvana, you see Poppy ulting, she's like swirling around the hammer. What do you do? And we're talking positioning, so. Do you Dragon Form in and then like light shit on fire and burninate, or what do you do?
Probably. Yep, that might be good actually. Because she can't W to stop.
She can W while ulting, believe it or not.
Oh, she can?
And if you Dragon Form in and she ults, it's very easy to hit you because you're going to go in a straight line. So you can Dragon in and she'll just ult you away.
That's a very bad idea then.
It's not the best. I kind of misled you a little.
So the only thing I can really think of is just move out of the way.
Yeah, so which way are you going to move?
Probably towards Echo.
Towards Echo? You sure?
Actually, no. I think moving towards Alistar would be better.
Yeah, I would either... Actually, I disagree. Why would moving towards Alistar be bad? Let's play it out. Let's say you move towards Alistar. What happens? What if Poppy still hits you for ult? What happens to Alistar now, too?
Then we're both gone.
And you're both gone. So where's the only good option, really?
Probably by the carries.
By the carries, yeah. Just back up. I mean, what happens if she hits all three of you with her ult?
Then Alistar is going to feel bad.
Yeah, but he'll hit R on his keyboard and walk backwards.
Yeah.
70% damage reduction is a lot.
Oh,
but I mean, do you have to peel for anybody?
No.
No, because all the carries just flew back with you. Or if you walk back and she just misses her ult, what happens?
And then nothing happens.
Nothing. You just walk back up to Alistar, and then you're done.
Yeah.
But if you walk towards Alistar, there's a chance, even if it's 50%, that she hits both of you. So, like, let's say she hits the ult. What happens now?
Oh, we're going to lose.
You're going to lose. Yeah, Lee Sin's going to jump in. Everyone's going to jump in. She's going to hit her E and run up, and, you're probably going to die. If Echo's good, he'll see that ult happening. He'll throw his W in. Maybe he'll go and, like, stun the backline. But still, like, if you guys get bopped away, you're going to lose. Now, if only one of you gets bopped away, it's not the worst, because Alistar's still there to peel or engage or whatever. And you can just run back in because you're super fast and been building split push items. So, okay, so what else do you want to look for? Like, we talked about the three people that could engage. That's Poppy. That's probably how she's going to start it up. If she doesn't do that, She can jump in, slam someone into a wall, use her ult to like bop them in the air, because you can just flick it to only throw them like straight up.
Mm-hmm.
But what else? What about Karma? What could she do? What are you looking for there?
Her shield
Her shield, which does what besides shielding?
increases movement speed.
Increases movement speed. So if you see the shield happen, what are you going to do?
Probably engage or disengage.
Which one? Can't do both, I don't think.
I don't know.
Well, what do you think? What happens if you disengage? Like, what does that look like?
I guess they'd catch us.
Would they?
Mm-hmm.
Like, remember that they're
right
kind of back
there.
here, right? So you have time to react. If you see her just hit her shield right here, are you going to stand there for 5 seconds, just wait for them to jump on you?
Mm-hmm. No.
What are you going to do?
I guess we could run under turret.
Yeah, run under turret. And remember, you have a Zir on your team. He's the mid laner. What can he do if he sees that?
Or you could ult.
Yeah, you could ult. Mm-hmm. You know, you also have a Tristana. What could she do if she sees 5 people clumped up running on you?
She can also ult.
She could also ult. What could Alistar do if he sees 5 people clumped up running on you?
Pulverize.
You can pulverize. He gets a 5-man pulverize. Then maybe you stop disengaging and jump on them in dragon form while they're in the air. You know, and maybe Echo threw his W as soon as he saw that, and then everybody, just secretly orgasmed in their pants because it was the best thing ever. But you see what I'm saying? Like just think through all the things that can happen. Okay, so who's left? We have Lee Sin, right? What are you looking for him? Like, how can he engage?
Pretty much only his Q, or he could ward hop.
So does it make sense for him to actually be here in the middle of everything?
No.
Where would he be?
He'd probably be off to the side.
Off to the side? Why would he be off to the side?
They would make it easier for a surprise attack.
Yeah, so let's say he ward hops over here. Oh my god. Mm-hmm. Or maybe ward hops over there or something. You know, he just jumps over. He can kick, Tristana into you. You know, or it's easier to land his Q on someone important, one of the people that do the damages, right?
Yeah.
So I imagine he's over here. So how can you defend against a Lee Sin that's over there, maybe?
Wards?
Yeah, wards. So put a ward here. Put a ward here, maybe, just so you can see.
Mm-hmm.
And if you keep your yellow trinket, that's something you can do, so it's pretty easy. And Echo's over here, so he's not over there, obviously. Mm-hmm. So, or maybe another thing you do is, if you know Echo's over here and it's safe, position that way. Maybe you're like over here instead.
Mm-hmm.
Because if he jumps over here, like, you'll have more time to react. It's the same thing we were talking about earlier. Yeah. You can see him coming. You have more time to react, more time to do the things. It's a little bit easier. So there's stuff to think about. Okay, so that's actually pretty good. I think that's how that team fight should actually work. You want to focus on killing the tanks, so Lee Sin and Poppy, and then once they're dead, because you're a tank killer with those items, like we talked about, just clean up the fight, take all the towers, because you have Tristana and you. So if you were going to team fight, that's how I would do it. But realize that you can't really engage on your own. You're relying on your teammates to make plays, or you're relying on the enemy team to screw up. Because if you just try to jump in, Poppy, her entire kit will destroy you. Lee Sin will ult you away. Karma will root you with her W. Ryze will stun you. Caitlyn will just be right-clicking you a whole... Like, it's just a freaking nightmare. And you have the traps and... Stupid. So I still think split pushing is probably better, but since you wanted to learn about positioning in team fights, that's kind of what you have to do. You have to think through, how's it going to go?
All right.
Other thing, we kind of talked about counter jungling, but is there something specific you want to talk about with counter jungling, like when to do it, or we talked about leaving 1 or 2 little ones. What else?
Yeah. Well, we kind of already talked about good times to do it when the other jungler's dead.
Yeah. When the other jungler's dead, sure, but let's say he never dies because he's playing Lee Sin. It's the safest champion in the game. So here, let's say it's early in the game. We're not team fighting because that'd be silly. But everybody else is, down here doing the things.
All right.
So let's say it's first 10 minutes of the game. What's something you can do to figure out where the enemy jungler is? Because right now this half of the map is dark for you.
Get wards deep.
Okay, where? Here, let's play the hot cold game. So I'm gonna start at the bottom half of the map. Tell me if I'm hot or cold. Eh?
Cold.
Eh?
Cold.
Eh?
Warmer. Oh, that'd be a good spot.
That'd be a good spot. What about here?
That's the one I was thinking of, yeah.
That wouldn't be bad. What about here?
That'd be alright.
That'd be alright. Okay, what about here?
Nah.
Nah, not here? Okay, what about here?
Yeah.
That'd be pretty good. What about here? I'm just going to all the bushes. Nah, you don't think here? Okay,
nah.
I'm I disagree with a lot of these. But there's one that is way better than all the others. Do you know what it is? There are two that are really, really good. There's one that's way better than all the others.
The one by the birds.
The one by the birds is one of the two good ones. Like these two, I don't like at all.
Yeah.
So why is this one good?
Because most often, or sometimes, that could be a route from base when he's recalling.
Yeah, also, like, every single jungler in the universe is going to, like, let's say, oh my god, this stupid thing had ward selected. Let's say he was on this side of the map, and he wants to go down here to farm this half of his jungle. How is he going to do it?
He's most likely going to go that way.
Probably going to go that way. And even if he's Lee Sin, right? So let's say he queues to this guy and jumps over. Where's he going to go after that?
Probably to red. Or
right,
to
probably like to red and then to the Krugs, right? And he's probably going to walk this way. So, and even when he's on this, if you have the ward position right, you'll be able to see him. So, you see what I'm getting at?
Yep.
Now, this one's also bad because why is it bad? There's something
tough to get to.
Well, it's not that tough to get to, but there's something else I'm looking at. Like, what's right next to it?
Mid lane.
Well, mid lane, yeah, but what's right next to it in the jungle that specifically has a buff that shows things like wards?
Oh, the raptors.
Yeah, I'm really spelling it out for you. Sorry, man. But he smites this. What happens?
And he sees that he's tracked, and he finds the ward.
Yeah, he finds the ward. You just gave him 25 gold, and then your ward's done. Now it's good and bad. You know what half of the map he's on, but at the same time, you know maybe there's a better spot. I like the one down here actually a lot better. And what I recommend to players is if you're going to ward this side of the map, put a pink ward right here.
All right.
And the reason being is, think about his jungle path. Will any normal jungler ever walk into that bush?
Not really.
Never, right? And let's say he walks down here and he gets seen by something. Is he going to know where it is immediately?
Nope.
Like the oracles goes off is what I'm saying.
No.
Check here, check here. You know, it's like, where the hell is it?
He'll waste some time.
He'll waste a lot of time, right? Now up here, he's like, oh, it's probably right here. You know, it's not really a big mystery, but down there it's fine. Now, if I were you and I were gonna ward up his jungle, I would do this one and this one on this side of the map.
All right.
Now, let's say you have those two wards there. Do you care about warding the other side of the map?
Probably not.
Why?
Because if he can't see him on those two, then he's probably on the other side.
Yeah, exactly. Or he's like in a bush or in your jungle. You know, he could be down here. But you know he's not here. So if you know he's not here, what does that tell you to do as a jungler looking to counter jungle?
Probably go there.
Yeah, go take a shit. And okay, so let's go through it again. We're up against a Lee Sin. So what do you take here?
One raptor.
Yeah, which one? The big one. And why do you leave the other ones?
Because it'll take him longer to clear him.
Yeah,
and
because it'll take him forever, and he'll be so salty and sad. What about down here? What do you do for this guy?
Just take the big one?
Yeah, sure. Another way to think about it, though, like let's say it's later in the game and you're trying to split push and you're split pushing bot. Would you want to take both or just the big one?
Probably both.
Why? I'm leading you by questions. Shit, I'm going to have to start mixing it up. Because you're just guessing now. Shit, okay, I'm being a bad teacher.
I don't know why.
What does it do when you smite it?
It gives you Def 10s. And that stuns enemy champions with your basic attacks.
Nope, not champions. It stuns.
Oh yeah, it deals. It removes the entire buff to deal a lot of damage to turrets.
Yes, it does a lot of damage to towers.
Yeah.
So knowing that, would you want to leave this up or take it down?
Probably take it down.
Why?
Just so you can get it again.
So you can get it again sooner. Exactly. Because if you're split pushing and you're super slippery, just smite this as much as possible, then right-click the towers you're trying to split. Okay, cool. So let's do the same thing, but on the other side of the map. Like, let's say he's over here or something. If you could put a pink ward anywhere, where would it be? Here, let's do the hot-cold game. Here?
No.
Here?
No.
Here? Here?
No.
I'm out of bushes, so I'm just like clicking things now.
Oh, isn't there? Oh, I thought there was a bush behind the walls.
There's one right here, yeah.
No, then it'd be by blue.
By blue? So like in
Yeah.
this bush?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anywhere else?
Maybe a vision ward.
Where?
Probably around where I am in that bush.
Oh, so like up here?
Not the one right there, yeah.
Right there? Okay. Anywhere else?
Nah.
Okay. I agree and disagree with you. And let me tell you why. So, this pink ward, is this bush going to get checked? This one right here.
Yeah, probably.
It's definitely going to get checked. Is this bush going to get checked?
No.
Probably not. Yeah, like this isn't a bad place for a pink ward. Is there a better bush for a pink ward?
Yeah, probably where the green ward is.
Where the green ward is? Right here?
Or even that other bush.
This one?
No, the one by wolves. That one.
This one? Why? Why do you think this one and not this one?
Because the scuttle usually goes in the one by the river, so if he's following the scuttle, he'll see it.
Yeah, he's gonna walk in that one and check. But this one, does he have any reason to walk through here?
No.
None. What does this show you? Depending on where you put it. Here, let me move it down a little.
It can show you the wolves.
It can't show you the wolves, but it will show you this entrance. It will also show you him walking towards mid. It'll also show him walking through this. If you look, there's here. I think I can draw this, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 paths that it kind of catches, right?
Yeah.
If you put a ward here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that it kind of sees, right? But here, I can delete these, right? Oh, that's actually kind of nice. I've never used that drawing tool. Now, if you're going to put a green ward, where would you put it? Let's say you have your pink ward here.
Then that one would go by blue.
Where? Here?
In the bush, yeah.
Is there a better spot? There are 2 spots I would actually look at more.
Probably closer to the river?
Oh, so like up here?
Yeah.
Maybe. Anywhere else? And think about like making the ward do the most work.
Move it slightly over so it can reveal Gromp too.
Yes. So check this out. See the little like circle around it? Now you're getting 2 camps instead of just 1. So if you get this and this, what do you know?
Pretty much everything.
Everything. Yes, everything. You know exactly where that guy is. Another thing you can do if you want to be a little ballsier, you can put that guy like down here, just because it covers every single path. But yeah, like, so if you're going to counter jungle, you want one side of the map warded. And these are probably the magic spots. So like somewhere in this area for green ward, somewhere in here for pink ward, somewhere in here for pink ward, somewhere in here for green ward. And if you do that, that tells you all the things. The next thing to look for is, okay, let's say he is, your ward sees him like down here. And I need to get rid of that. I didn't want that ward. But let's say your ward sees him down here. What does that tell you you can do? Let's say you're like right here.
You can go take his wolves.
Yep, go take his wolves, go take his grump. What is that? What should you also do if you see him down here?
Ping.
Yeah, ping. Tell your team, hey, Lee Sin right there. Care bot. I'm gonna go top and take his shit. Hey, Echo, let's go do the Rift Herald because for whatever reason, Riot made it last for 20 minutes and it makes me super strong because it's like, what the hell is this patch? You know? But yeah, tell him he's down there. This tells you that this, blue if it's up, are now objectives, and Rift Herald's fair game. Because with Shyvana, you can take that bad boy down pretty fast. Although I do think it has extra health and resistances now.
It seemed a lot more tankier.
Yeah, you still probably need a friend.
Yeah.
Okay, but does that kind of make sense?
Yep, it does.
So with counter jungling, if you can fight him, another thing you can do, like let's say you see him here, and you're like, and he hasn't done wolves because you just saw him like walk up here and he's doing grump, and you're like here. What's one thing you can do just because you're Shyvana running exhaust?
Attack him?
Yeah, go kill him. How are you gonna kill him? Like, what's your route?
Probably cut in by the pink ward.
Yeah, why the pink ward and not like through here?
Because if you go through the pink ward and go around, it takes away some of his exits.
Yeah, it takes away some of his exits. Also, what do pink wards do?
I don't know.
They reveal invisible things like wards, right?
Oh yeah. Okay.
So another reason you want to go this way instead of this way is like maybe the top laner isn't bad and they put a ward right here.
And then Lee Sin will know.
Then Lee Sin will know it's coming, and then mid will just casually walk over, top will casually walk over, and then your invade looks really stupid in a few seconds.
Yeah.
But if you go to the pink ward, what do you know?
If there's a ward there or not.
Yeah, and since your pink ward is there, what do you know?
That there's not a ward.
There's not a ward, so you're just walking here, right? What else is good about walking through here versus like walking through here or through here?
You can catch him from behind.
Yeah, remember what we talked about earlier when we were ganking mid? He has less time to react. Because you come through here, you know, he has from here to here to react. If you come from here, he has from here to here to react. This is a longer distance than here, right?
And being Shyvana, that gap closes really fast.
Yep. So probably what's going to happen, this Gromp is going to be down. He's going to just ward hop away. Or he's dumb and he fights you using his Q, and then you just kill him. Because he's taking damage from Gromp, he's taking damage from you. And then you just like smite this thing, and then probably run out because Ryze and Poppy might be running on you. But if they're not, you know, take his wolves.
Oh yeah.
If they're still not, maybe run through this tower, spam your mastery emote, go take his chickens, because you know he's low and like running back to base, probably recalling in this bush. But that's something you can do. So now before you do this, what's something you should check?
The positioning of the other people.
Yeah, it's
like the top laner and mid laner.
It's the same stuff we talked about already, right? Because this is just a gank on the enemy jungler. So we already talked about the first one. What route should you take? What distance? Yeah. So you pick the right one. Go through my pink ward. And the reason is because I'm not going to be seen and because it's the shortest distance possible before I get attacked, which is what we talked about. Who you're ganking. Is it worth? Well, we already decided that Shyvana, you do like gold. And if you set the Lee Sin behind, that opens up a bunch of things like Rift Herald and dragons and stuff, so that's good. And then what else?
The probability of success.
Yeah, so is this a pretty high probability? Yeah, I mean, worst case scenario, like, you force him out of the jungle and you just take his shit.
Yeah.
And the enemy team can't really stop you because you're Shyvana. You're just going to run away and dragon over a wall.
Oh, yeah.
And even if they do come to stop you, hopefully your teammates aren't complete dummies. What are they going to do?
Follow up.
Follow up, or even better, what are they going to do?
Ping.
Well, ping, yeah, but shove the wave in, right? So that these guys are losing minions while they're chasing you and never going to catch you. That's how I see it anyway. But yeah, maybe worst case scenario, they follow, and then, you know, you force the Lee Sin out of the jungle. You're here moving towards wolves. Ryze is here. Azir is here. You're here. What are you going to do to him?
Destroy him.
Yeah, he's dead, right? I mean, maybe he flashes over here, runs to Poppy, but by then, you know, now it's a 3v2.
Yeah.
Like, you got options is what I'm saying. And then they rage at their jungler for being bad and in base because you already bullied them out.
And then they become real toxic, and it becomes an easy win.
Yep. But do you see how that works? How we like kind of just set that up, just with by simply knowing where he is, and maybe that's even easier because maybe you have your ward right here, so you can watch him doing the Gromp, and you notice, oh, he's at 200 health.
Oh yeah.
So maybe you just ult in, smite exhaust Q, he's dead. You know.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing you can do too. But just having that ward there lets you set up that play. So if you're going to counter jungle, very important that you get wards here and here, or here and here, depending on what side of the map you have the opportunity to do so.
All right.
Sorry, I'm talking to my stream. I got some Diamond 2 stud that wants coaching, apparently. All right, so my last question about counter jungling for you. When do you want to go put these wards in? Like, let's say the map is completely dark and you know nothing. When do you want to put the wards in?
When you know of the other jungler's whereabouts.
Okay, so here, let's say you know the jungler is here. Tell me where. Where is he?
Top lane.
Top lane. Is he ganking or something, or is he just standing on a ward?
He's standing on a ward.
Okay, where are you?
Because he's dumb.
Because he's dumb. Where are you?
The Scuttler by Dragon.
Cool. Okay, so where's the obvious place to go put wards?
Bot side.
Yep, so here. here. And every time you back, buy a pink ward. Just because.
Oh, yeah.
Let's say your pink ward is out here. What is super valuable this patch? Like more valuable than like anything else on the map?
The dragons.
The dragons, and actually that Rift Herald is insane. Like
That
those
Rift
are the.
Herald's good too.
But let's say you have another pink ward in your inventory, and you notice Leah's top. What can you do on dragon as Shyvana? Because you're level 6 and have your jungle item.
Take it. Free
Take it.
dragon.
Yeah, so drop your pink ward here.
Mm-hmm.
You already know the jungler's top. Oh, no wards. Just take it. Now, if there is a ward, you know bot lane's going to come collapse on you. Ryze is probably going to come collapse on you, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So, anyway, that's how you want to think about it. That is how you want to think about it.
All right.
Actually, here. That's how your team's set up. So, same thing. Let's say he's down here. Either take Rift Herald or, go in there, place your same wards. Green in here, pink one here. And if you don't have a pink, but you have 2 greens, green. Same thing. It's just the pink lasts for like 20 minutes usually if you use those 2 areas.
All right.
Okay, let me go back to your list. Because we're over like 2 hours. I know we started late because you had that game to win. But I want to make sure we got all this stuff. We talked about counter jungling. By talking about all this, we actually talked about more efficient ways to farm, because that isn't worth kind of discussion. Is about more efficient farming. Because if you're counter jungling, you're gaining gold and the enemy jungler is losing gold, so net you're up like double gold, if that makes sense. Like if a camp is worth 100 gold,
does.
you take it, you get 100 gold, he gets no gold, so he gets minus 100 gold. So that's better than just farming your own jungle. And then we talked about routes for ganking, who are you ganking, like what can your team do, is it worth it, all that good stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And another thing, I recorded this, so all that stuff I just said, a lot of it was kind of complicated. I'll just throw it up as a Twitch highlight. I'll send you the link. Just fast forward to the parts that aren't boring, and you can watch again.
All right, sounds good.
Cool. All right. Do you have any other questions, or did I miss anything?
No, I think you covered a very great majority.
Cool.
Even more than I expected to learn.
Sorry about that.
I'm not complaining.
Okay, cool. Any other questions not related to what we covered?
Yeah, how often?
How often what? I think I lost you. Your mic cut out. How often what?
How often do you do coaching?
Nightly. I think I do Sunday through Thursday usually.
All right.
But if you want to do another session, man, what I recommend actually, do you have the capability to record your games somehow?
Yeah, I have Windows 10, so it kind of automatically records everything.
I want you to practice some of this stuff we talked about for like a week, get used to the new patch, and then like sometime in the week, maybe over the weekend, if you play this game too much like I do, record a game where you kind of went even and you're not really sure why you lost or why you won.
All right.
And then what I want to do is kind of just go through the game with you and see if you did all the stuff we talked about. And if you didn't, explain like what you can look for to do it.
Okay.
Is that fair? Is that good homework?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It might be a little bit though. I've got a really busy week coming up. So
no, that's straight. Same for me, man. We're all busy. If it takes a month, same difference to me.
All right.
But yeah, I highly recommend doing that. And if we're ending this session now, I will like throw this video up and send you a link on LOL coaching. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, anytime, man. All right. Have a good night and good luck if you're gonna play.
You too. Thanks for everything.
Yeah, sure thing. All right. Bye.
All right. Bye.
Super nice guy.